not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show is live on your YouTube machine. Happy Wednesday, May 14th, 2025, my friends. We're almost halfway through the year. You guys, has that sunk in?
Don't start.
We are almost halfway to Paris. Because some of us will be in Paris celebrating the New Year and Christmas. You won't be because you're not me. But the point is, we're almost halfway through 2025. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. I tell you every single day, you gotta plan. If something bad happens, you gotta be ready. You know the most dangerous 100 days of the year are from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Memorial Day is 10 days away. Ridiculous. The most brutal 100 days of the year for accidents, bicycle accidents. If you're on two wheels, it makes me nervous every weekend. My wife is out doing these training rides. It makes me incredibly nervous because I know cars don't pay attention to bicycles. Cars don't pay attention to motorcycles. If you happen to get into a wreck, you're experts on how to repair your life, because that's really what happens. If you're on a bicycle or on a motorcycle and you get hit, it stops your life. It absolutely does. Get to the Advocates, where you get clear, risk-free advice at theadvocates.com. You can chat with an injury attorney, and the best thing is you don't pay anything. You never reach into your pocket to cut a check. No retainers, no consultation fees. You never pay the Advocates. There's no more excuses, you guys. With insurance in this country, I have to hold myself back from the frustration I feel over the insurance industry in this country. Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous. There was a quick sidebar. There was, here in Utah, it's been excessively windy for about 3 days. And over the weekend, it was so windy that many fires popped up. And unfortunately, 3 right around my home, within quite literally walking distance. And one of them was a lithium battery that was plugged in. You know how you have those cordless drills with a lithium battery, and the battery dies, you take it off the drill, you put it on the charger, and you leave it there. Months and months, sometimes. Weeks and weeks. Well, apparently, one of the lithium batteries exploded, lit the garage on fire. It was so windy, it blew the flames to the house and burned the house down. Over a lithium battery. If you're somebody that leaves your lithium batteries, your kids have those e-scooters, unplug them. Don't leave them sitting on the charger. I'm telling you, when you get into those situations, the Advocates. When you have a trip and fall, the Advocates. You get in a car accident, the Advocates. You get hurt at work, the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The NFL schedule releases today. And I'm telling you now, I just don't want to know what the Bears' schedule is. I don't want to know. I do not want, I can't emotionally say that I am prepared for how bad the Bears are going to get piked. Right? Thank you. I'm not emotionally prepared for how
Caleb Williams and his nails.
For how many different colors of nail paint that Caleb Williams is going to need when he cries inevitably into his mother's cleavage. Because I just I have a feeling that week 1 is the Vikings. Here is allegedly, and I say allegedly, the Chicago Bears schedule. And I don't know. First, I should show you this graphic of strength of schedule. Because I just feel like my rectum can't take anymore. Right? Like, Bo Hika, as a Bears fan, is a Chicago sports fan. Exactly how much piping do I have to take?
Hugh Janus.
Because the Bears were awful last year. Strength of schedule. That's interesting. The Bears have the second most difficult schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
Are you out of your damn mind? How? So this is what I don't understand about the National FU League. How do you have the Bears and the Giants, who are one of the worst teams in the NFL, most difficult strength of schedule?
That's an issue.
Number one, the most difficult strength of schedule. And you start looking, the scumbag Kansas City Chiefs with Swelsey, everybody's favorite Nebraska quarterback stalker. 50 points less? You're telling me the Buffalo Bills, 467 strength of schedule. The Chicago Bears at Ditka, 571? Our owner just died because you guys keep doing stuff. The National Football League schedule makers killed Virginia McCaskey.
Well,
what would I do without you?
Die? I'm telling you guys, I should just give up, because how on earth are the Chicago Bears ever going to win a game?
they're not.
In what sense, if you look at that graphic, and if anybody wants to attempt it, make it make sense. Make it make sense as to what the strength of schedule. Yeah,
it's brutal, bro.
How?
Yeah.
Man, and then if you believe it, let's show you the leaked schedule, because the Bears' schedule is not official yet. Let me show you the schedule that most people believe the Chicago Bears are going to play this year.
Apologize to that man.
And again, as somebody who just lives a Chicago sports fan life of Bohica, which means bend over, here it comes again.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
This is the Bears' schedule.
Yeah.
You make it make sense. One of the worst teams in the NFL is Vikings, Lions, Cowboys, Raiders, Packers, Commanders, Saints, Ravens, Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers, Eagles, into a bye week where we're going to try and figure out how to fix broken legs and kneecaps.
You know.
Okay, but at least we get a break with the Browns, Packers, Niners, Lions to end the year. Like, who did we piss off?
Bonnie, I don't know what you're talking about. That's a 13 and 3 schedule.
Like, who did we piss off? I don't know.
Yeah, it's rough, bro.
I don't know. And I would love to know exactly how all that works, but we're screwed. That's a 6-win schedule. I'm telling you now. And I understand the only reason I think that the Bears and Ditka, who's not the coach of the Bears anymore, the only reason I think the Bears have a chance is because the Vikings don't have a quarterback. Right?
No.
The Lions, the Bears' offensive line is better, but what is Hutchinson going to be? I don't know.
Well, and Myles Garrett.
Well, and then
my bad. Sorry.
And then Jera. No, we get Myles Garrett later in the year. Thanks for that. Jera. Okay, we should be able to win 2 of those 3.
Yeah, Dak will throw it to your team. Not
the
his.
Raiders, that's 4. We're going to lose to the Packers. We're going to lose to the Commanders. The Saints will be 5. We're going to lose to the Ravens, Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers, and Eagles. We're going to lose to the bye week. We're going to lose. We're going to beat the Browns for 6. And then we're going to lose to the Packers, Niners, and Lions. Okay. Thanks for nothing. And again, we'll be one of the worst teams in the NFL. Am I being over emotional? I don't think. No, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not. I am being a realist.
No.
Okay.
They were not one of the worst teams, dude.
The Bears weren't one of the worst
Come
teams in the
on,
NFL.
bro. With what you had, come on.
Right. It doesn't. What you had. You have an ugly girlfriend. She's not the ugliest, but that doesn't make her hot. Right. Like, I don't care what everybody else has. Right. The Bears were one of the worst teams in the NFL. Again, I'd like to point out, how did we get Caleb? Well, we robbed Carolina, but we were in a position where we sucked. And our quarterback now, Justin Fields and Mitchell and every other quarterback, they're in different places. And we've got
fucking Cole Beasley.
We've got crying to mom's titties as our quarterback. So you could at least cut me a break on the schedule.
I thought you said that Caleb was as good as Jaden.
Well, he is. He has the same numbers. Jaden's all world. And yet the Bears, you want to talk about Jaden, the Bears have a far more difficult schedule than
Waves in opposition.
Oh, the greatest quarterback anybody's ever seen, Jaden McDaniels and McDonald's and chicken nuggets.
Here I am.
It's too early in the show for this kind of consternation.
You're so mad.
The Bears were one of the worst teams you don't believe that.
By record, maybe.
Thank you.
I don't think that I don't think that when you look at their schedule, it's a 6-win schedule. I think they could be a lot better than that. I think it's not just.
I asked Jake to get a drop today. Erroneous.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be worse with that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, it's like you said, okay, last year we just let a bunch of people kick you in the shin. This year we're going to need you to lay on your back so we can stomp your balls. That's what you're doing with this schedule. Kicking me in the shins isn't good enough. Now it's ball stomping time.
Hey, look here, man.
What am I even supposed to do with that?
Suffer.
A-holes. And it just...
Whoever came up with that shit need to be fired.
That game's in Philadelphia on the 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Come on. At least, yeah, anyway. All right, I don't feel better. I thought maybe if I exercised some demons and released my emotions.
Some demons.
Now the road home splits are out. I'm not even, until it's official, I'm not even going to get upset about it. Vikings at the Lions, at the Commanders, at the Ravens, at the Bengals, at the Eagles. That's just the fucking part of the road schedule. I'm sorry. Did you say at the Lions, at the Commanders, at the Ravens, at the Bengals, at the Eagles?
I'm screwed.
Bohica. Day after Thanksgiving? Yeah, they better not be eating turkey because they'll be in Philadelphia.
Biggest kick in the balls you'll ever get.
A Friday game in Philadelphia. Thanks for that. My God. It's brutal. It is absolutely
What
brutal.
are the comments saying?
Will I ever?
No. Nope.
Will I ever see the Bears win a Super Bowl?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Johnny Gonzalez. The new Chicago Stadium will have a pair of black and blue balls on the 50-yard line as the new logo.
Well,
Big Pontiff, the Pope, has weighed in, you dirty Chicago White Sox fan. The Bears' only equal record type opponents are the Raiders, Niners, and Aints. Saints don't have a quarterback. They're probably going to win that game. Joey B. Hi, Joey B. Wow, epic Monty today. This is great. Cue up the background music whenever he talks today. Dude, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Yeah, big blue horses. Big blue horses. Yeah, pay $2 to stomp on my balls. That's fine. Lions and Tigers, oh my, that Chicago schedule's brutal. Yeah, hadn't really noticed. Thanks, though. Thank you. I'll take the $2 and no, it's probably too much. Jay McClenahan, hello. Travis, the schedule is predetermined for eternity, and it sucks.
yeah, it's not rigged or fixed. We know.
It sucks. Big Daddy Dallas. That's messed up. KC should have the hardest schedule.
Why?
Because the scumbag Kansas City Chiefs played for a championship. The Eagles should have the hardest schedule.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
The Bills should have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL.
Please, the NFL is a business. They're not about that life.
I'm just curious. How do the Eagles have the third hardest schedule? And I don't know. Patrick Mahomes? Nah, he doesn't have the hardest schedule. You know.
He's got to be in it, dude. He's their moneymaker, bro.
Get out of here.
He's their moneymaker.
Get out.
I mean, he's no Caleb Williams.
He's
but,
no
you know.
Dylan Raiola, but he'll do.
Yeah, you know.
It's just
It's absolutely disgusting.
Just one
Stay hard.
Just 1 year. Give us the cupcake and let us win a Super Bowl that doesn't involve a fat ass taking a handoff and running for a touchdown instead of Walter Payton. Just once in my life. Like, why does Jesus and his dad have to be a Notre Dame fan? Why can't he be a Bears fan? Nobody likes Marcus Freeman. Screw him. Let the Bears win. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Like, who put the curse on Chicago sports?
Shout to Mobamba.
I mean, we can't even get the Hawks to be any good. How do you have a hockey sex scandal? I have no idea. Ask Chicago. Think of the most... Well, let's see. Where can we land a UFO? Landed on the United Center at Chicago Sports. Nobody will notice. Exactly right.
No smoke.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. Anyway. Noah, man, glad I saw my Buccaneers win a Super Bowl thanks to the GOAT Tom Brady.
Seriously.
Must be nice. Must be nice. Keaton Critchlow, hello. He says, but Monty. No but Monties. No but Monties.
But Monty.
No but Monties. You know, I love the Chicago Bears. We'll be lucky to win a game this year.
You don't always have to be negative.
We spent $68 million on our offensive line, I think, or something like that. Caleb's going to probably be paralyzed by training camp. I mean, we're done. You know it. Eric Wasikowski, the Pope is a White Sox fan. That's your curse. True.
Apparently.
True. Jesse Crum, if you think Chicago sports are cursed, take a look at Cleveland sports. What? I mean, you paid a sex assaulter to be your quarterback. What more do you? You know. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Gabriel, so many leaks today. Yeah, dude. Because everybody wants to know how much the pain train is going to cost this year. That's all anybody wants to know.
Well, who are the fans that are burning jerseys this year?
Yeah, I'm very curious. Like, I don't know. I'm just waiting for the schedule to come out, and I'm excited to see when that happens. We know all the holiday games and all of that, but I'm excited to see, does Dallas actually have a chance? I don't know. Joey B, I don't know why you keep tagging me in your comments. I only see it on the screen because I don't look at YouTube. I have a full interface, so tagging me doesn't really do much. This is Chicago's punishment for Reinsdorf, the devil in all sports. Yeah, Dollar Bill passed away, thankfully, mercifully, and then we won multiple Stanley Cups. My biggest concern is when Jerry Reinsdorf is no longer among us, will it be the White Sox or the Chicago Bulls that get the push? Hopefully it's the Bulls, because nobody wants to see the White Sox win.
Agreed.
Nobody.
Not even Bobby Jenks' fat ass.
Eric Wasikowski, now I know why Baez left the Cubs. Well, the Cubs left Baez because he was absolutely horrendous when they traded him.
Yeah.
The renaissance that Javi Baez is having is fantastic. That's great. You're lucky you're in the worst division in baseball. But other than that, longest yard, Cleveland starring Washcloth. Well, hey, he got paid. I mean, I don't hate on the guy. Do you guys get excited about the NFL schedule release?
I mean, it's always fun to see. You know, I mean, I think, what most fans care about is the holiday games and all that. But I mean, yeah, I think I would agree. It's kind of surprising the Bears have that tough of a schedule,
It's outrageous.
On the winning percentage.
Who's your favorite football team? Do you have an NFL football team?
No, probably not one team. I mean,
I follow players, bro.
I mean, obviously I grew up in Chicago, so the Bears are kind of my team, but Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, Dansby Swanson sitting leadoff for the Cubs tonight.
Oh, man.
How about PCA again last night? Yeah, Prize Picks was a wreck last. Oh my
What do you
God.
mean PCA last night? He screwed me.
I won big time on PCA last night. We'll talk about Prize
It's a clown
Picks.
question, bro.
Jake doesn't listen to what Monty says, and so Jake loses when Monty wins.
I had Nicola at under 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and dude, of course, decides to pop off for 64.5.
Oh,
Thanks,
Anthony
dude.
Edwards is the free pick.
I'm sure I'll lose that one too.
Anthony Edwards is the free pick tonight. Okay. I like that. I mean, that's when you're gonna have to activate the promos.
I don't live in a what if scenario.
Yeah, you're gonna have to opt in on that. Download the Prize Picks app, use a promo code Monty to open up a new Prize Picks account. I'm telling you, there's never been a better time to do it than tonight, because quite literally, Anthony Edwards, and I'll show it to you. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. Anthony Edwards is 1 point. All he has to do is get 1 point and you win. And you click, because he's half a point. Do you guys see this right here? That says half a point. And all you have to do is opt in. And then you're good to go. So download the Prize Picks app. I'm going to take Anthony Edwards, certainly. Let me guess, you're not going to take Ant on the free promo.
No, I took Ant on the free promo.
Jalen Brunson tonight. Are the Celtics capable of winning this series? They're down 3-1, game 5 tonight. Did you guys see the line before we get to saving college football? Because I know that's what you guys are here to talk about. Knicks and Celtics tonight in Boston. The Celtics are 4.5 in that game. Brunson on points is 27.5. I mean, I think you got to go. It's a closeout game. I have to think he goes for more.
Yeah, more.
Right. What's his points, rebounds, and assist number, and why can I never find it? I think he goes for more.
Yeah.
I'll take, the one that I really like, 2-pointers made.
Okay.
6.5. 2-pointers attempted, 13.5. Do you like that one or no?
I would go with attempts over makes, just because, that takes some pressure off. So I would go attempts over makes.
Yeah, I think, who steps up for Boston? Are you all in on Jalen tonight?
No, I think that I'm not really interested in anything with Boston, because I don't know. You never know. One of their guys randomly wakes up. I think Derek White's pretty reliable. Jalen, I think, is super unreliable. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Some nights he shoots a ton of threes. Other nights he's more interested in going to the basket. He's a tough one, but yeah. So I took the Anthony Edwards, half a point play, Brunson for more than 27.5, and then Jamal Murray for 24.5. All
right, I'm going Brunson, 38 points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to go more. And then I think you got to go 3-pointers made. In that game, I think Derek White at 2.5 3-pointers made. They don't give you. He has to shoot more for them to have any chance, right?
Yeah.
His demon is 5 3-pointers made. Do you hate that?
Yeah, I don't love it. That's a lot.
All right, I'll go 2.5 on a goblin.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So my NBA Prize Picks tonight: Anthony Edwards, half a point. Jalen Brunson, 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and Derek White, 2.5 3-pointers made.
I like that. That's good.
I just hate that it's on a goblin, so it doesn't win you nearly as much. But there you have it. Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Use a promo code Monty. Let's get a couple of comments in here before we get in there. Damian Fowler, Jake, are you going to put the hex on Monty on Prize Picks today again? I think you should.
He won. Hallie made it. Hallie had his free throws for him. I just put the hex on him for that particular one because we were doing the show.
I did not win the NBA Prize Pick last night. I was better off picking my nose.
But the Halliburton line hit.
Nikola Jokic, speaking of Bohica, 50.5. I was like, I should probably go more. And what did Jake say? Oh, no, go less. Yeah, he put up 64. Evan Mobley only made 1 3. I needed him to make 2. And then Tyrese Halliburton had 5 free throws made. But I would like to thank Pete Crow, MFing Armstrong, 5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Mitch Keller gave up 5 hits. And Kyle Tucker, you're an idiot. He got me nothing. So
yeah, go back to calisthenics in the outfield.
Yeah, prick.
Idiot.
So tonight will be big winners in the NBA. Tonight will be big winners. And Damian, you stop stirring the pot. Capazzo, it's okay to pick your nose, just don't eat it.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
I was going to do a non-sports story the other day about a guy who picked his nose and bled to death because he I guess there's arteries in your nose. And he, yeah. Lions play Cincinnati week 5, Tampa 6, KC week 7, then Baltimore. I don't get it. Joey B, the windstorm from Utah is now here in Colorado with lots of rain. Dude, it's been crazy.
It's real, bro.
Crazy. Johnny Gonzalez, I don't eat it because I don't need it. Well, you know what? Fight on. How's it, gentlemen? F Notre Dame. Good to see you.
Yeah, boy.
Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let's get into it because speaking of F Notre Dame, I think there is a huge fight brewing behind the scenes in college football, and I think the Big 12 is fighting for survival. This story that we've been talking about, and I know here on the Monty Show, we don't have sources. Trust me, bro. And
clown show.
What have I been telling you for the better part of 6-8 months? They're going to expand the college football playoff to 16 teams. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And it is going to be 4 for the Big 10, 4 for the SEC, 2 for the Big 12, 2 for the ACC, Notre Dame, a G5, and an at-large. It truly is as simple as that. So if you do some math, 4 and 4 is 8, 4 more is 12, 1 in the G5 is 13, 1 in Notre Dame is 14. What's going to happen to those 2 other at-large bids? That is the singular question. And when you look at the fight right now, the SEC and the Big 10 behind the scenes are trying to take those extra spots or at least give themselves the best chance to get there. And one of the things that is so very interesting right now is there is, according to Ross Dellinger at Yahoo, who's the latest to report what we've been telling you for months, there is significant dissent, especially from the Big 12 and the ACC, about expanding past 14, because I think everybody knows that if you go to 16, which I think is almost a given, if you go to 16, the Big 10 and the SEC are likely going to get 5 each. And everybody else is going to be picking up scraps. And the thing that I hope most people understand, if we go to 16 teams in the playoffs and the SEC and the Big 10 get 5 each, there's no way to recover from that if you're the Big 12 and the ACC. The playing field already is slanted in favor of the Big 10 and the SEC. If they get 5 and you get 2, it's over. It's over. If they get 4 and you get 3, and that extra at large in the 16 goes to, you're fine. But that's not how this is going to go. And I think everybody recognizes that Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti are going to slant the tables in their favor as much as they can. And Jake, at this point, I can't really blame them.
Yeah, I mean, I just think when you have that much control, why wouldn't you? And people are blaming, Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti in their conferences. But the reality is as I always say, like, they're in the driver's seat for a reason. And I just think that it's one of those deals where at some point, the Big 12 and the ACC have to do something to catch up. And I don't know what that is. I don't know how you catch up, especially when you think about the fact that the SEC has gotten so much better in basketball. So the challenge is, what is the Big 12 supposed to do with this? I mean, obviously you're going to put up a fight. Obviously, I think it was Jim Phillips who on this, who had recently commented that at some point, it has to be more than just the money. There's got to be some competitive balance of sorts. There has to be, some fairness in college football. So I think people are pissed about this. I think that the sentiment towards the SEC specifically, trying to what a lot of people call like rig or fix the college football playoff in their favor.
But what would you call it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're rigging or fixing anything. I think they're being transparent. I think that they're saying, hey, like, if we're going to expand it, then we're going to keep our portion in proportion, right? Like, hey, if we're going to add several more spots. If we're going to add 4 more spots, then we want 2 more, and the Big Ten's going to get 2 more, and we'll go from there. Like, that's what I think they're saying is they want to make sure they stay in the driver's seat. So, if that upsets people or you feel like that's rigged or fixed, like I just disagree. I think what this is these 2 conferences pushing forward, keeping control, basically saying, what are you going to do about it? And there's not much to do about it. And that's why I keep saying the Brett Yormarks of the world or the Jim Phillips of the world have to put their heads together to figure out how they're going to break out of this cycle.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that there is a divide and amongst the power players. So are we calling that the commissioners in college football? And what I've been telling you in talking to sources around television and talking to sources around college football, the big fight right now is over these automatic qualifying spots, but also what does 16 teams do to a schedule? And I told you as late as, I want to say 2 weeks ago when we talked about this, and as early as last July, that Greg Sankey, Tony Petitti, and really, I think everybody's in lockstep on, we can start the college football playoff before Christmas. The second week of December. If you go back on the channel, that's been here back to before last season started. Now, amongst others, Mandel, Dellinger, pretty much everybody is reporting about when to start this. That one of the discussions is, okay, well, we'll start it earlier if the Big Ten and the SEC only get 4 of us, 4 guaranteed in a 16. Because, again, if you do quick math, that's half the field already would be Big Ten and SEC. Not telling you anything you don't know, but 4 and 4 is 8, and half of 16 is 8. They're getting half the field anyway.
Right.
So giving them 10 of 16 seems untenable to me. It seems untenable. And I wonder if the multiple voices in the room that very heavily and dramatically include television, because to start the college football playoff earlier, obviously you need the TV guys to check the box.
Yes.
Because you have a long-term contract in place. The only way that contract is going to get changed is if the other side of that contract, which is the TV people, are on board. And trust me when I tell you they are, because I think ESPN and ABC especially would much, much rather have games of leverage versus nobody gives a rat's ass bowl game. I don't think that's even a question. And I've been told by people in TV that ESPN, NBC, CBS, everybody's made it very clear, hey, we're amenable to changing the late season schedule to accommodate an earlier start for the college football playoff because it makes everybody else more money.
Yes.
The question is, how big is the fight over that? Because I think everybody recognizes that what is the worst case scenario? Okay, so the Big Ten gets 4, and let's say they get 5 even, because it would be even worse. Big Ten gets 5, SEC gets 5. You start the college football playoff earlier with 16 teams. 4 of those 16 teams are going to play before Christmas. So right there, that's likely the lower seeded teams, which I would think would not include the Big Ten and the SEC's best teams. So it's an easier step up because you have more of the field, you have more control of seeding and how all that's playing out. No more buffoon manual saying strength of schedule and then ignoring strength of schedule. If you have 16 teams and 10 of them are Big Ten and SEC, you don't want it to start earlier because you're going to be out sooner.
Right.
Is what that comes down to. Because in most years, and with the Big Ten this year, it was a little different because Michigan was so down and the league was just not very good in football. But if you look at the SEC, if you had 5 SEC teams in the playoffs this year, you probably would have had a very dominant late bracket control play by the SEC in this playoff.
We're in a control position.
So if you go to 16 and 4 or 5 of those are SEC teams, it's going to be awfully difficult to keep the SEC and the Big Ten out of the championship game against each other year in and year out.
Yeah, it's the SEC and the Big Ten Invitational.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, that's just what it is. And I think that's what's difficult. And, I'm not sure that there is a way back if you're the Big 12 or the ACC. And I think that's why I keep saying, like, the ACC needs to stop fighting itself and start getting in on the fight of how do you catch up to the SEC and the Big Ten. And I just don't know what the path is to do that, because it's going to take you winning, the national championship for, probably 3 to 5 years, like maybe win it 3 out of the next 5, or, in dominant fashion to where you could say, yeah, we've been winning the championship. We should have more access. Like, let's go back to the negotiating table. But short of that, I just don't know how else you would do it.
I don't think there's any doubt that the drum that I always beat on this show, and I know it pisses off Big 12 fans more than most. Every team in your conference has to be singularly focused on winning every single game. It's as simple as that, because you no longer can afford to have, again, this past year, BYU and Colorado lose late season games that they damn well should have won against Kansas, right? You can't have BYU losing to Kansas and Arizona State. You can't have Utah and Oak State having just absolutely terrible seasons. You can't have that anymore, because in my opinion, based on the people that I speak to, every time you have that happen, every time an Oak State and a Utah are just dog, it makes it easier for the Big Ten and the SEC to go to these conversations and say, well, your league's irrelevant. I mean, like Florida State. Come on, Florida State.
What are we talking about?
Florida, really? Did you see Florida State last year? Do you really want to? That's
I'm not doing that.
That's what happens. So when we sit around on this show and you guys get all pissed off that I say, hey, well, West Virginia fired Neil Brown, not after a terrible season, a mediocre season. They fired him because they want better, but Baylor hangs on to Baldy 8 ball. Meanwhile, Joey's calling 0 blitzes in Laramie, right? Like, we have all these examples, like Oak State's probably the best one. You cut your head coach's salary because you said you couldn't afford NIL any other way.
I'm a man.
Who's going to go play there? Oh, well, Haas Henji, who looked awful in spring ball. This league has got to change its perspective, and it's got to change that perspective now.
Yes.
Everybody has to go all in on winning. And I think one of the best examples of that is K-State. You were able to keep Avery Johnson. You got to win right now. Kansas should be one of the top half teams in this league. Kansas should be fighting for a spot in the college football playoff through the conference championship game. You absolutely should be. We'll see. But I think if I had to guess right now, I think the backsliders are likely to be Arizona State and Iowa State. I think the movers in this league, I think Kansas and Utah have a real chance to win a lot more games than they won last year. It's just going to be really interesting to see how all this plays out, because if this league does not continually get multiple teams into the college football playoff, and the SMUs of the world, who now are having really good portals and really good recruiting classes, continue to bring the bottom of the ACC up, you're not bringing the bottom of the ACC up to compete with the Big Ten and the SEC. You're bringing the bottom of the ACC up to survive financially, to be financially viable. And every time that happens, the Big 12 takes another hit. You can't have BYU and Colorado losing what should amount to must-win games for the conference championship.
Yes.
Because how much better off is this league if Colorado is in the college football playoff last year instead of ASU? You'd have bought a hell of a lot more eyeballs to the set.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that would have been a massive story.
How big would it have been for BYU to be in the college football playoff instead of Arizona State? How many more eyeballs would you have had on the set? A lot. And BYU's better this year than they were last year.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are, and it's the guys in the Big 12 I always point to, I don't want to hear from you in Waco if you start sputtering and you don't win games.
Yeah, next question.
If you lose more than one game this year, don't come in here and bitch at me that I'm saying fire Dave Aranda. Joey McGuire, if Joey McGuire loses a game, start asking questions. If he loses 2, he's not the guy to lead you. Because that's the talent he has on his roster. Right? I can't put it any more simply than to say you had better be all in. Did you show up to win this game Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
We show up.
And did you do everything you could do on Sunday to win the next Saturday game? Because that's what it takes. And it takes what it takes. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
They don't regularly do that in this league, in the Big 12.
Couldn't agree more.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it.
And I think that bleeds into administrations too. That's not just football personnel.
Which is so whack. Why is that? Because you look at Baylor's president trying to put together hey, let's form a super league. And everyone's like, oh, Baylor's all in. No, what Baylor wants is a guaranteed paycheck so they don't have to go all in. Because if a super league happens, Baylor's got as much money as anybody needs.
What happened?
Nobody showed up.
No, they laughed at you, dude.
Yeah,
they blew you off.
Nobody outside of the conference showed up. Nobody showed up. And it's just...
Because they don't have to, because they don't respect you, because you haven't earned that respect.
I just am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what, Starter? I agree with you. We've talked about this. This is exactly right. I don't want to hear it. When Joey McGuire zero blitzes in one of the stupidest, don't you dare zero blitz situations.
Oh, he don't know nothing.
And it costs you a game. I don't want to hear it. When you're giving up 59 points to Abilene. I don't want to hear it. And if Kyle Whittingham has the same year that they had at Utah this year as they had last year, I don't want to hear it. All you need to say is, yeah, it's not good enough. Probably got to make a change. And I don't care if it's Witt, because Witt will tell you if they have the same year this year they had last year, you won't have to make a change. He'll make the change for you. If Mike Gundy can't win a conference game, I don't want to hear it.
Can't win a conference game.
How flippin'
Don't you know
unbelievable.
who I am?
Let that sink in that Oklahoma State, worst team in the Big 12 last year. Not Houston. Not, oh, Deion Sanders can't coach. He's a gimmick. Yet turns out he can, and he's better than Oklahoma State. How does that math?
Yeah.
Well, it maths because Oklahoma State is giving their coach a paycheck and then publicly saying they did it because they couldn't afford NIL. But right here, Texas Tech, you're telling me Texas Tech is more well-heeled than Oak State? Apparently, because he's exactly right. Cody Campbell on that little committee that Nick Saban is going to talk about here in a minute. Number 1 transfer class. Yeah, they're putting their money where their mouth is in Lubbock, but you're not doing that in Stillwater. You make it make sense for me, Oak State fan, because I can't figure it out. I want to figure it out. Right? How is Oak State outspending Notre Dame? How do we not have? And you can ask Jesus and his dad. Maybe they have the answer. I don't know. They watch practice every day. I don't.
Notre Dame, our mother.
How do we not have a quarterback of note? Michigan, who's going to get bag slapped, has like 37 quarterbacks.
Human or non-human? Was
Will Howard ever going to Notre Dame? No.
Hell no.
No. We don't have a quarterback. Oh, Steve Angeli he's going to be amazing in somebody else's helmet.
Ah.
Where did he go? Syracuse?
Yes.
Come on, man.
He went to the Kyle McCords.
Come on. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we need to churn the mentality in the Big 12. And I even think this applies to the Big 10 on some level, right? Like, you learned a lesson after Scumbag went to the LA Chargers to be the head coach.
Right.
Well, you figured out that, maybe we're not
the best conference in college football.
Maybe we need Connor Stallions and his cell phones.
Sign Steeler guy.
Right? Because that was in. Listen, I as much as I am a Notre Dame fan, I have a lot of respect for Lincoln and SC. I don't want to hear it. He's got an unbelievable recruiting class this year. You don't go to the college football playoff. See you later, Link. You're done. You're out. And that, I don't want to hear. Well, Monty. Well, Monty.
Well, Monty, he had a bunch of the drama from the LA Boosters, Monty. Come
Well,
on.
Monty went to the championship. I don't care. Did he go to the college football playoff or not? Because
You are what you are.
the thing I know about USC, and I have dozens of USC fans in my life. Too many, frankly.
Including Buddy in the comment section.
Smelly.
Hyenas.
I don't want to hear about how great Lincoln Riley was as a hire, because he wasn't, unless he goes to the college football playoff. I don't expect it from Imaliava and UCLA. I don't expect that. But you better not have a better record than UCLA.
Around and find out.
Injuries don't count. You've got every quarterback and their mother wanting to come to your school. You've got a deep ass roster. Win games.
Yeah.
If you're in the Big Ten, I don't want to hear it, Dan Lanning. You can't have what happened in the playoff last year happen again.
You mean that part where they got embarrassed and boat raced?
I don't want to hear it, Ohio State fan. It's your job every year to churn players and have the best talent coming and going. You're Ohio State. You make the most money.
Well, you're forgetting about the best team in the Big Ten, right?
Well, Minnesota. It's not Minnesota.
That was a joke. It was.
We all know it's Penn State.
Yeah, Shower Olympic squad.
We got our running backs here.
And
we've got Drew Aller, who can't complete a pass to you. But I love Penn State fan. Oh, he'd have been the top quarterback in the draft if he'd have gone out. But he's here for the love of
Cocaine
Penn.
is a hell of a drug.
He's here for the love of Penn State.
Sure.
Shut up.
Yeah, and Cooper Flagg wasn't going to the NBA.
Oh, he loves it at Penn State.
God, he's going to stay here for years and years and make all the NIL money. Okay.
Drew Aller couldn't beat Notre Dame. And we're supposed to believe. Anyway. John Hamm for $5. This is a win for the Big 12. As 2 guaranteed spots is one more than they would get many years if there were no guaranteed spots for anyone. I don't even disagree with that, but it can't be 5 to the Big 10 and 5 to the SEC and 2 to the ACC and 2 to the Big 12.
Yeah, that's too much.
And then you get an at-large and you get Notre Dame. Granted, if we have a quarterback and we're in the top 12, right? But that's not a win. There's so much money to be lost in that scenario. If you think about that, I'm a believer it's not the money you're making, because everybody's making money. How much money are you not making comparatively? How much money are you not making comparatively? And on a pretty regular basis, I sales train. Right. I talk to people who are sellers and they're like, hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
And I always tell people, if you're not motivated by the money somebody else is making, that's a problem. If you are the Big 12 and it doesn't piss you off that the SEC and the Big 10 are 3.5 to you,
A lot.
to your 1, that's a problem. That is a huge problem. Don't look at the money you're making. Look at how much money you're not making. How much are you leaving on the table by only having 2 while they have 4 or 5?
Right.
That's a problem. So, John, I don't disagree with you. I just happen to think it is far more of an issue that they are taking all that money home and you are not.
Yes.
I think that really, honest to God, I think it really damages you. And we'll never know. Like, I think BYU is a very interesting money example in the Big 12. They've got money. They're spending money. But I don't think we'll ever know the full extent. Hired a great athletic director or named a great athletic director yesterday, who, if there's more of a BYU brother, I've never seen him.
What's up, big bro?
But BYU makes money. Like, it's their job, whether it's the church, the Deseret, this or that.
Stuff.
BYU as an organization makes a ton of money, and they don't mind spending it. And their NIL collective is very good examples of that, right? But BYU's winning on the field now. BYU, I think is going to be one of the best basketball programs in the country next year. How could you not be? You have an elite coach. You have a freaking jerk off for an NIL director, and he just makes a lot of money. And you got a receding hairline that just pumps money into your account all the time so you can buy AJ DeBanza.
We show up.
Right? Like, you have the ingredients.
Got the goods.
I probably should be more specific. But my point is, you have the ingredients to be an amazing basketball program. I think they are also pumping money into the football program. They have an elite coaching staff. They're recruiting. They're portaling. They're recruiting other players illegally behind our backs. What a bunch of jerks. They're doing.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Please, shut up. They're doing everything you want your university to do. BYU's got to win. No
Gotta
more.
execute.
I don't want to hear it. If somehow, some way, if it's ever possible, can you imagine BYU not going to the NCAA tournament next year? Holy.
Physiologically, it's a non-starter.
Do you know how many caffeinated beverages would be consumed in Provo if that happens?
When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer.
The point is,
That's a lot, dude.
they're not going to miss the tournament because they've spent money and they've recruited and they've gotten kids. And
Well, and you know, they're already having NBA teams wait for AJ, so you know.
yeah. Oh, fight on. You're exactly right. What SC's doing facilities, who are you, Oak State James? What SC's doing
what's your new
facilities wise?
ops building looking like?
And I'll tell you, fight on, bro. The money the donors are putting into the SC program, even with, because I'll tell you, they had pitchforks and torches out for Lincoln Riley last year. They were ready to string him up by a yard arm. And they're still putting money into that. It's what I always tell you. I am a Notre Dame fan through and through, like rectum to nose to toes.
If you felt these balls,
I just made that up. But my point is, I even have a clover tattooed on my. Can you guys?
Yeah, it's like an 18-leaf clover and stuff, you know?
Right? Like I am Notre Dame through and through.
good for you, buddy.
But I have a lot of respect for USC. And if you can't understand the angst that audience has for winning football games, do you understand the money? And they've got bread. Like the film school alone, dude.
Yeah, there's no question they have the money. It's about winning something.
And they're paying Lincoln Riley a freighter full of hundies, and he's not winning.
That was a masterpiece of dog shit.
This is it. This is the fight on. This is it, my guy. If Lincoln doesn't win, I'll pick him up after the game because I'll drive his ass to the airport.
This is the end.
Yeah. Right? Somebody call Adele.
Dude.
This is the end. Doo, doo. What is that from? That's from
007.
Yeah, the Bond film.
Yeah, Buddy's standing on the tarmac and the private jet's like pulling off into the sunset.
Lane Kiffin will be a soft landing spot for Lincoln Riley. Right? What money if you aren't buying top tier QBs with it? I'm a
Seriously.
Notre Dame fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Tell me about it. Right? Midweek Coug, hello. Even if the Big 12 goes, quote, all in, they will beat each other up and then they will be left out anyway, just like the old Pac did. Well, just like the SEC did last year. Right? You can't lose. Who did Bama lost to Kentucky or something stupid? Or no, Ole Miss lost to Kentucky.
Oh, but Monty, the SEC got 5 teams in and all this. Come on. Yeah, well, so what?
You know, I just don't think you can do it. Noel Ramirez, but Monty. You guys are so righteous today. We have to save that NIL money for third and fourth string conditioning coaches.
Right.
Did you guys see the Lakers posted an ad? And it's legitimate.
Do you even
they posted an ad they posted an ad for a new strength and conditioning coach for the Lakers. Well, and one of the qualifications is you've got to understand how to talk people out of smoking hookah. Right? Like, it's ridiculous to me. Anyway, they posted an ad for that. It's wild. Joey B. Jake already exhausted and yawning. Were you yawning?
Yeah, a little tired today. A little tired today. Sorry, dude.
You're off for like 4 days. How can you already be tired?
I just am I like the only human that gets tired? Like,
Yes.
You guys not get tired?
It's flipping 4 o'clock. I have more energy than anybody.
Okay.
Well, I also had amazing.
Yeah, I didn't have my second monster today, so just cut me some slack.
There's one up in the conference room upstairs. Go get it.
Yeah.
I got a white can for you. I had amazing ground turkey and potato tacos for lunch today. My God. Like that is amazing. That Monty Bear's schedule ran at the beginning of the show got to Jake. It makes you sad. Stop the pedo state talk. You know what I'm saying,
bro?
Let's play a little game.
Yeah. Okay. Here. Let me. Okay. Let's come over here. All right.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip. Yeah, boy.
You love that drop.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man.
BYU football. Jakey Two Holes. If these conferences are so great, they don't need auto bids.
Okay. What else does he have to say?
What pisses me off about it is we are changing the way college football is going to be played with their playing games. Well,
but here's the deal, dude.
Here's the deal.
If you're not first, you're last, and the Big 12 and the ACC are competing not to be last.
Well, and the other unspoken part of this that I think, and this is a fairly, I mean, it's not a great point. It's a good, it's like a 4.5 out of 20.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. It's a pretty good point because what else is going away? Think through this. If you start playing the college football playoff December 15th or that week, what else goes away? Oh, that's right. Conference championship games. What did we learn this past year? You don't need to be in your conference championship game to get into the college football playoff. You don't need to win your conference championship game. Does it guarantee you a spot? Certainly it does. But the thing that worries me is the tradition of college football is going away.
Right.
I think we'll always have big rivalry games. We'll always have made-for-TV games. But what I'm telling you is, and I don't know how you, what's the right way to say it? I don't know how you justify. What's more important, a conference championship game, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Texarkana, Community College?
Abilene.
Thank you. Ohio State, Abilene in week 2, right? Because if you don't play a conference championship game, can you afford to play that cupcake game? One would think.
The problem is we don't have unification throughout the sport.
I would agree with that.
We don't have, and that's a multi-level problem.
But wait, I think, let's be specific about that. I think everybody wants to expand the college football playoff because it means more money. It means more TV money. It means more branding money. It means more games played money. What we don't have unity on is who should get the extra spots. That's what we don't have. And if we want to really get down to it, are we willing to forsake conference championship games so we can start the college football playoff, expand it, and then start it in the second week of December?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's very messy. You know, the thing I don't like about it is it's very clunky, messy, uncomfortable, not smooth.
Why?
Well, because it's this whole thing where like in the NFL, like we have the ability to say, okay, there's this amount of teams, and this is what they have to do to get in, right? Like we know watching a week 17 game or whatever, hey, the winner of this game is going to go on to play, this team in this environment, or whatever, right? We have the ability to kind of map that out and do that. And I think, the problem in college football is that there's all this delineation or all this separation in like, strength of schedule and, who's playing who and like how much money. And like, there's all these different factors that go into it, which is why we originally went to a committee versus having computers do it. And now people are unhappy with the committee. And now the SEC and the Big Ten have won a lot more. So now they want a bigger portion of the pot. So it's like now we're in this problem where it's like in the NFL, if you think about it, you've got this dynasty in the Chiefs and like we have this second cut with the Ravens and the Bills and a couple other teams. So it's just the NFL is a lot smaller in size, so we can really get our hands around it. Whereas college football is so big that we don't have the ability to organize it.
And when you win, you want more. And when you're given more, I don't know, like Notre Dame bending over and handing their vote to the SEC and the Big Ten so that they get in automatically. You want to see you're able to seize power, you're going to seize more power.
Right.
This is nothing different than the Romans in the savages in their wars. This is nothing different than you gave me a little power. How much more are you willing to give me?
And I think
I'm going to ask for it.
To this point, though, when you're talking about in the comment here, when you're talking about, hey, if they're that great, they shouldn't get auto bids. That's not how. See, for me, that's not how I view it. I understand what you mean, dude, but that's not how it comes across to me. I more see it as, hey, well, why would we penalize the SEC and the Big Ten for, frankly, just winning more?
But But wait. What happens when you win more? Well, number one, you built yourself to a quality. Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, Oregon. You've built yourself up to this level. So you've achieved something. That's allowed you to do what? Recruit, portal, hire better coaching staffs, hire better technical staff, hire better general managers for now, because all these football programs have general managers.
Right.
So your support staff, higher cut, right?
Right.
But now when it all comes around and you have the opportunity to take more and give yourself more access to the top tier, what happens? Well, you're doubling down on that. Every time you go to the college football playoff and you win a college football playoff game, you get more recruits, because we're going to be on TV more, and we're going to be in ESPN's new app more, and we're going to be in this commercial, and I can make more NIL money because I'm at Ohio State and we won the national championship, or we're at Georgia, I get an SRT. Hopefully I don't drink and drive, but that's a different story.
Well, we're not talking about Oklahoma State, so, you know.
Right? Like, honest to God, when you win more, it gets easier to take all of the gold. And if you are in college football, the gold is talent, both in the football playing department, in the coaching department, in the support department, and you get better NIL collective guys. Your collectives get more money, so they pay more money.
I mean, we know that.
It just snowballs.
Yeah.
And what happens is you got to the top of the mountain, and visualize a hill like a mountain. The SEC and the Big Ten have pushed their snowball to the top of the mountain. And now the problem is, now that Ohio State won, and now that they're going to expand the college football playoff, now all of college football, including the Big 12 and the ACC, have pushed the SEC and the Big Ten snowball down the other side of the mountain, and it's just picking up more and more snow, right? And it's picking up more and more money and more talent. And the Big 12 and the ACC haven't got their ball to the top of the mountain. They were too busy helping push the other guys up and over. And now they have nobody left to help them get to the top of the mountain, because everybody who would help them is already running with the Big Ten and the SEC, the TV people, the NIL money, the NIL, collectives, the sponsors,
all the Sherpas are already Sherping with the Big Ten and the SEC.
And so what's happening is you're getting left standing still. You're not backsliding from where you are. You're just not moving forward. And it's great that AJ DeBanza picked BYU. What does that do for the football program?
Yeah.
It's great that the women's basketball program at Utah is elite. What's that do for the football program? Because it's supposed to be the other way around. Why do you think SEC basketball is so much better right now? Because football's dominant. Why do you, if you go through time, you can correlate, and I want to say that this is on 3 where I read this. If you go through time and you look at you look at how good football has been historically, there's a basketball bounce in that conference. And now I think that's amplified even more,
And I just think it's so necessary for your basketball program to be good. Like, you have to have it.
And when your football program's good, you could rehabilitate a bad basketball program. Utah's football program is not good right now. They're not winning games. They had a terrible year last year. But what happened when Utah's football program went to the Rose Bowl multiple years? They were recruiting in women's ball, not in men's ball. But there was a bounce.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're looking at Oak State. How long is Oklahoma State going to be living on their softball program's decent?
Mm-hmm.
Your basketball program's okay. Look at BYU. Football's amazing, as good as it's been in probably a decade plus. And now basketball this year is probably going to have a historically good season.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's not rocket science, boys. So I think this is a really important discussion. And it's one we need to have. And we need to have it on a regular basis, because if it goes to 16 and 5 each go to the Big Ten and the SEC, it's over. That's when you fold up your tent and you're like, yeah, we can't compete.
I do wonder, before we move on, I do wonder what is like the limit for how far the Big Ten and the SEC can take it, right? I mean, like is there a scenario? I mean, again, I as we've discussed on this show ad nauseum, I'm a huge believer. We're huge believers. The Super League is coming, and that's in development, and that's going to show up here in the next several years. But
Donald Trump has talked about a Super League.
Yeah, I just wonder, if you're the SEC and the Big Ten, doesn't it have to be part of this equation that it's like, hey, we're running out of time before the Super League gets here to be in this control position? Because that's what this is. This is them being in control, basically predetermining the outcome, because Greg Sankey doesn't give a damn about which one of his schools happens to be the national champion.
I would agree with that.
That's not the point. The point is, hey, our school needs to be the national champion. We need 4 schools as part of that process. We like that's the conversation. So I'm just curious if we ever see, if it gets to 5-5 or like what ends up. I highly doubt it'll be 5-5 in this round.
I would agree with that.
I think it's gonna be 4-4 in that format, but I'm curious how far they will be able to take it before they're forced to adopt the Super League model.
Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, brought to you by Rula.com. Get to Rula.com/Monty. You guys take your mental health seriously. And in the vein of, I was mentioning coaching and talking to people, I was talking to a guy today that's a professional salesperson who's lost his belief. And he's lost his belief in his ability, and he doesn't know how to recover that. And so I was talking to him about Rula, because he was saying, I'm having trouble controlling my confidence and my emotion because work feels like it's really heavy. I'm not making the money I want to make. How many of you are in that same position where you said to yourself, man, I'm just not good at this. I can't do this. Or you're battling imposter syndrome. When you're struggling professionally, get help. And the best part about Rula.com, when you go to Rula.com/Monty, they're going to tell you it's $15 for most of their clients. If you have health insurance, in 9 out of 10 cases, it's $15 to talk to a therapist, and they can schedule a video session with a qualified therapist for tomorrow. You don't have to wait weeks. You know how many times you've waited weeks to just get an appointment with a doctor?
Just gotta try to get penciled in.
You don't do that at Rula.com/Monty, because they'll hook you up with a therapist tomorrow. It's that easy. Mental health and mental health issues in your life need to be addressed now. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. It's no longer about that. It's about getting the help you need so you can be the best version of yourself, for your wife, for your kids, for your mom, your dad, your brothers, your friends, your coworkers, for yourself, because the most important relationship in your life is the relationship you have with yourself. Start building that. Get back to the best version of yourself at Rula.com/Monty, where they have mental health programs tailored for you. And in most cases, it's just $15. Rula.com/Monty. All right. If you're just tuning in, talking about where the future of college football lies. And I think it is without a question that we are going to go to, I think it's 16. I've talked to a lot of TV dudes who have said 16 really helps us with our revenue generating in December, late fourth quarter. Because one of the things that I think people don't think about is, what is the impact on television of expanding to 16 or going to a Super League. Television works in quarters. Hey, how are we going to end the year in our fourth quarter? Like, how are you going to finish the year strong?
Yeah.
Well, if you're ESPN and ABC and you can get 2 more college football games in a playoff format, you're going to do that every single day because it helps you sell more money, more sponsorship, more dollars. If you are a college football team, and again, I'll go with Notre Dame, if we can get another game at the stadium where they sell more beer and more sweatshirts and more golden domes and
Hey, do Notre Dame hoodies have holes in them the way Navy ones do?
they don't.
Or...
Bill Belichick has cornered the market on that. My point is it makes more sense because those early round games are played on site.
Yeah.
They're at home. So Ohio State, for instance, hosting Tennessee last year. Notre Dame beating the hell out of Indiana last year. Like, you look at those games, that's new, fresh money for both the TV partners, Notre Dame. Like, you're making more money because you're winning playoff games. It makes a lot of sense. And the business model of 16 makes a lot more sense than 14.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Hero 75 for $10. My bet is that the conference championship games will become playing games for the tournament. Example, the 4th and 5th place teams in the Big Ten play for that auto spot in the tournament. Well, and there is quite a bit of, one of the biggest questions that I've heard around this is, are you diluting the quality of the college football playoff if the top 5 teams in the Big Ten and the SEC get in? I think on the Big Ten side of the ledger, you would be.
Yeah.
Right? Because
it's hard to deny that.
If you look at the Big Ten and you start saying, okay, well, let's look at if it was 16 and we were getting 5 teams in. The top 5 teams were Oregon, Indiana, Penn State, and Ohio State. I think those 4 were pretty strong. Penn State, you still don't have a quarterback, but okay, those 4 are pretty strong. The 5th team would have been Illinois. Would anybody have been excited about a 10-3 Illinois team who didn't score much on offense? The drop off after those top 4 is it's significant.
Yeah.
Right? If you go to the SEC and you say to yourself, okay, well, let's see Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama. Those are power football teams. Those are teams that both score points and play great defense. The number 5 team would have been LSU. That's a pretty good 5. That's a pretty good 5. And you start looking at what was closely after that, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss was the best defense in the country last year and had over 500 points of offense. I think I could make an argument that LSU, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss belong there. To a lesser extent, Missouri, because I think their defense wasn't as strong as the other guys. Their offense wasn't as strong. But from Ole Miss down, okay, there's a fall off there. Ole Miss up, there's not a whole lot of separation between those teams. And I think Texas was significantly better than most of the teams in that league, especially offensively.
Yeah.
But you could make a case that there's legitimately, what is that, 8 teams? That's not a very big fall off. If we go to the Big 12, what about the Big 12? Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, Colorado, and Baylor are the top 5 teams. That's dog, dude. That could Arizona State, would you feel comfortable putting any of the top 5 teams in the Big 12 up against any of the 3 best teams in either league?
I think that the Big 12 teams could hold their own against like Oregon and,
You think they could hold their own against Oregon?
Oh yeah, I think they could hold their own against Oregon. I think definitely Indiana for sure. Penn State, very suspect, no offense.
But they were big defensively.
Big defensively, but again, we're not talking about whether you're winning the game, right?
You're not none of those 5 teams are beating Ohio State.
No.
Sorry, that's not happening.
No.
And then if I look at the SEC, and maybe this is where we pound each other's face masks today, None of the top 5 teams in the Big 12 can compete with Texas. Not
Agreed.
one of them. Not
Agreed.
a single one.
Agreed.
Texas last year was over.
I would say that about Georgia too.
Over and above.
Yeah.
Georgia, after the Carson Beck injury, there were some story. Georgia couldn't score late in the playoff, right? Like we saw that in the playoff. They couldn't score. Alabama would have beaten the top 5 teams in the Big 12. I think.
Is that the conversation we're having? Because I think this is important. Are we talking about whether the Big 12 can beat these teams?
No, does the Big 12 deserve more than 2 spots? And the answer is I don't know. I don't know. If we're trying to level a playing field,
if that's the answer, then the answer is no.
If we're trying to level a playing field,
yeah.
Okay, they deserve more than 2 spots. If we're doing it on merits, they don't.
Yeah.
The ACC does not. The Big Ten.
And I think the ACC's case is far worse.
The Big Ten doesn't deserve 5 spots if we're doing it on merit. They just don't. So it's one of those conversations where there's not a right or wrong answer. We're just all, throwing opinions around. Wasikowskinator, a 5th place Big Ten team can destroy a Big 12 first place team. I
disagree with that, dude. I just don't think that's accurate.
I look at in the Big Ten last year. How different is Oregon if they don't deal with that bye week? Because remember, the bye week teams were winless. If Oregon doesn't go on that bye week, are they a different team? We'll never know. I would like to think so.
I can also look at Oregon's schedule and say, hey, they're on the light side there.
They were on the light side. Indiana sucks. I'm telling you right now, this sucks is strong. Indiana was not a good team last year. They did not belong, and I said it all year, and you guys tried to rail me, but...
Oh, I win. Google me.
Yeah, that's great, Coach, until you run up the... And I'll remind you again. Because
sorry, guys, I shouldn't have encouraged him.
I feel like everybody wants to be a revisionist when it comes to Big Ten history. Name me the quality win. This is Indiana's schedule last year. Oh, the one-loss team we belong in. Shut up. Florida International, Western Illinois at UCLA. Charlotte, Maryland at Northwestern. Nebraska, Washington at Michigan State. Michigan. Oh, then you ran into Ohio State and got your ass beat.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
You got your ass beat. But then you bounce back against Purdue, which, that was a crappy win too. By the way, then you ran into Notre Dame at the stadium. How did that go? One of your big rivals in state, Notre Dame, they beat the hell out of you.
Notre Dame, our mother.
You couldn't operate.
Yeah.
Indiana was a very average-ass team last year. And I look at Ohio State. Ohio State, that loss to Oregon, there's no excusing that. There's no excusing that.
Right.
You know what else you can't excuse? That you dominated Tennessee, Oregon, and for long stretches, Texas. And then you played a closer game, but you pretty well handled Notre Dame.
Yeah, that game wasn't really in doubt.
I don't believe Ohio State at any point in the playoff was ever in danger of losing. I don't believe that the 2 games they lost, I don't know how you explain Michigan, because Michigan was a dog shit team last year.
Mm-hmm.
They were not good somehow. It's been 9,421 milliseconds since Ohio State beat Michigan.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Or you mean beat Connor Stallion. Anyway. And then losing that game, Will Howard's mental meltdown at Oregon. Ohio State, I think, was the best team in the country last year.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is what it is. Illinois ain't beating Arizona State. Probably not.
No.
Not a chance. Wishful thinking, Big Ten syndicate homer.
Yeah.
The Big Ten fan really does like themselves a lot.
Yes, they do.
Well, listen, Monty, I got to tell you about Purdue.
Well, Monty.
You're a homer is the first part.
Monty, they have trains at Purdue, right? And when I look at them, man, those engineers, I don't care if they make great
money in the ops building too, man.
The stadium guy, James, no Big 12 team can compete with Texas. Arizona State did just that. Texas is twice as good as Arizona State. I mean, you play the game because you live for moments. And I agree. Was that game really tight? Yeah. If that Arizona State and that Texas team played 10 times, how many games does Arizona State win?
1. I think they win 1.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
1 out of 10. And I just think that the thing that people tend to forget about that game is when Texas needed it, how easy did it look?
Very.
How easy did it? It looked really easy. Well, and then you ran into a team like Ohio State, and it didn't look that easy, did it, Quinn? It didn't. That's just me. I don't know. BYU football. Yeah, but Monty. Hey, Monty. With it becoming a conference play-in model, the non-conference games lose their value. It doesn't matter who wins or who loses and eliminates the top 25. I'm telling you, I would never play a big out-of-conference game.
Do you see what I mean? Like, there's all these, like, just all this, like, this just nonsense we have to deal with in college football. Top 25s and non-con schedule and con schedule.
But why are we going to keep the big non-conference games that we see in late August, early September? There's one single reason. I've talked about it forever on this show. Why are we going to keep those big non-conference games? Because TV wants it and needs it. And TV's willing to pay for it. You remember, go back to Pete Carroll at SC. It's the game that I always talk about. USC at Auburn. USC won that game. Ohio State at USC is one of the best college football games I've ever seen. With the Clay Matthews defense. And there's a reason that the non-conference big matchups, the kickoff classic, those games will always be there because TV needs it for ratings.
Yeah, did we
money.
Did we just forget about LSU, USC, and Vegas?
Those big non-conference games early in the year are going nowhere. Now, I think you're going to see a lot more Mercer, Alabama in November. Because what incentive do you have to play a big non-con game? And this is the Notre Dame ACC scheduling agreement thing. Right? Those are Notre Dame, whether you want them to be or not, that's a significant opponent. And you look at Notre Dame playing Miami. Catholics versus convicts. I'm here for it. Give me another T-shirt. Right? I'm here for that.
Yes.
And
I think everyone's here for that, by the way.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. A TV guy that I know is watching the show and saying not only does the TV people need the money, the schools need the money, which is exactly right. The kids want to play those games. That's a great point. The kids want to play those big games.
Yeah.
So I don't think those games ever go away. I really don't think they ever go away. Yeah. Well, Matt Barkley leading SC down the field at the shoe. Dude, that's the thing about USC. They always are in these. You have so many memories of big, and the Vince Youngs of the world, that you look at the history of college football, SC, Notre Dame, Alabama, Texas. We like blue bloods.
Abilene.
We like blue bloods. Think about it. How difficult is it for somebody, and maybe in the Big Ten, like Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, just in football, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Maryland, Rutgers, like you think about the secondary brands in these power conferences, Northwestern, Vanderbilt. Will they ever be considered a blue blood in football? Vanderbilt's a baseball school, dude. That's a women's basketball school. Right? Like, it's so hard to break out of your ecosystem as a bottom feeder. You are
Are we
there.
talking about the Big 12 or other teams?
You are there. And the Big 12 is a good part of this. And I'm not even trying to be a red ass about it. But if you think about the history of college football, how many historically crappy programs have gone on and rise to power? Almost none. How many times has USC been terrible and then come back and done a Pete Carroll and then come back and it happens all the time to a power program. How bad was Ohio State? How bad was Michigan under Jim Harbaugh until Connor Stallions got there? How many times have we at Notre Dame been left for dead, prayed to Jesus and his dad, and all of a sudden, somehow, some way, we have an automatic bid to the college football playoff?
Because shit's going good.
Amen. You know, like, you, as a blue blood, you can suck for 5 years, come back and be a blue blood again. As an also ran that never was, you're never going to be. That's the harsh reality of college football, right? Midweek Coug, how about SEC and ACC play 9 conference games? Why would you? Why would you?
Yeah, what's the point?
Or other conferences play 8 conference games. Why would you want to do that?
See, this is the problem. You can't say to the SEC and the Big Ten, hey, you guys sacrifice.
Hey, you're gonna. No, we're not.
Oh, you guys have done all the winning. That means you should set. No, they shouldn't. No.
Because if you say to Greg Sankey, you guys are playing 9 conference games, what's he going to say to you? Hey, watch your mouth, boy. That's what he's going to say to you. He's going to backhand you like my mom did at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Right? You watch your tone, boy. Because the Big Ten, and I really think to a lesser extent the Big Ten, the SEC and Greg Sankey, and I'll play you the clips you don't want to hear, right? Like I'll play you the clips that piss people off because I think it is so incredibly important that we all understand the way that college football works, right? Like if you look at guys like Urban Meyer, right? If you look at the guys that you listen to and you trust and you're like, hey, I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of the matter is that Greg Sankey, all those months ago on the Triple Option podcast, when he said they want to be us, he wasn't wrong.
I don't want to dumb down the Southeastern Conference to be part of some Super League notion with 70 teams that some people speculate would happen. They want to be us, and that's on them to figure it out, not on me to bring myself back to earth.
And then you listen to Brett Yormark talk about expansion, and you're like, okay.
Expansion isn't something that's on my radar right now for obvious reasons. But listen, this is an evolving landscape, collegiate athletics, and we always have to be ready. So I can't sit here and say we'll be 16 for the next 10 years. It'll all depend on the nuances in and around the Big 12.
How can you say expansion's not on your radar? Because he's got all this other stuff to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
And then Greg Sankey's telling people, they got to come up to our level. We're not going to lower ourselves to those comments.
And they shouldn't.
Like, I'm going to fly coach.
What an idiot.
Idiot. And that's why when you listen to guys, like listen to Urban Meyer.
So this is the 4-4-2-2-1-1. 4 teams from the SEC, 4 teams from the Big 10, 2 from the Big 12, 2 from the ACC, and then 1 independent, 1 from the lower conferences.
It's going to happen. Dude, I'm telling you.
Independent being Notre Dame, just so we're all on the same page.
You just have to understand that it's not what you want, and it's really not what I want. I would much rather just say, let's stay at 12, go to a Super League, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't know that there are 80 teams that will opt into a Super League.
And I don't know that you want 80 teams.
Right?
You know,
I would agree.
I think, at most you want 60, 70, at most.
I think you would ideally love far less than that.
Yeah.
I think you would love 30 to 40.
Because
you can manage that.
Then you're in the NFL territory, right? Because the NFL's got 32 teams. You've got probably, hell, in any given year, obviously it gets dwindled down as we get to the end of the year, but probably 15 teams that are really in the playoff conversation most years. I'm
telling you. And then there's this thing with the presidential commission. This is fascinating to me. There was all this news that President Trump was going to form a commission to explore saving college sports.
So I said, yeah.
Nick Saban for the cabbage enema, right? Like he was coming in hot and he was going to core that thing out.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
And he is going to save college football.
Kiss my butt.
Coach, you're ready to save college football.
Well, first of all, I don't know a lot about the commission, first of all. Secondly, I'm not sure we really need a commission. I think that, a lot of people know exactly what the issues are in college football and exactly what we need to do to fix them. I think the key to the drill is getting people together so that we can move it forward.
I'm old. I don't hear so good. Did you just say you don't know much about that commission, boy?
The answer is yes.
What? Coach, you're saving college football. Slow down,
First
kid.
of all, slow your damn roll.
I don't know anything about what commission you're talking about, sir. How is it possible that his answer is, well, but you are going to save college football, right?
You know, I really don't want to get into the implementation of, you know, what I would do. I think, you know, the first thing is everybody's got a different state law, which creates advantages and disadvantages, and everybody's trying to create advantages. So you probably need an interstate commerce type something that gets it all there. I don't think it's in the best interest of the players to necessarily be employees. And I think authentic name, image, and likeness is good for players, but I don't think pay for play is necessarily what we want.
And he went on to say, at the end of all of this, and this is why this fucking guy's amazing. He goes on at the end of this to be like, yeah, and I don't know that football needs saving. What? You're the chairman of the committee, sir. And you're over here talking about this vantage and that vantage, and everybody's got vantage.
How dare you?
This cat is supposed to be the chairman of the commission to save college athletics. And he's like, yeah, I don't know anything about a commission. I really don't think college athletics.
I don't know.
They don't need
I don't know.
no vantages or saving.
But hey, if you want to pay them for a T-shirt, that's great. You know,
he told Paul Finebaum today. You know, I was just talking to President Trump, and he's like, yeah, you know, a lot of my friends are not happy about this. What can we do?
That's why we have Finebaum.
And apparently they formed a commission and put Nick Saban at the head of it. And Saban's like, whatever you say, Chief. Like, it is the craziest thing ever. And I look at this notion that, oh, college football needs saving. No, it doesn't. You know what it needs? It needs to get this House settlement done. File the stupid thing, and let's go on about our business of running college athletics, and then form a super league, because you can create a new entity that's going to insulate the people involved in that entity from continuing lawsuits.
right?
Because you're going to get government intervention to give that new entity antitrust exemptions. And let's go play big football games. But what we can't keep doing is going to court about everything. You can't keep doing that. You can't keep talking about, well, 5 teams here and 2 teams there and screw boys.
Just take it nice and easy, okay? Just relax.
Right? You can't keep doing that because it pushes fans out. It makes people unhappy.
Yeah.
And I think, and I don't know what you guys think, but I think generally we're all worn out on talking about problems with college football.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to actually spend some time talking about like how is it almost June and we haven't done Big 12 power rankings, right? Like,
who's winning the Big 12 in 2025?
You know,
It's sort of a natural reflex.
right? Like June rolls around and all of a sudden we're doing way too early power rankings, right? But like that's not how it's going right now.
Yeah, I don't know, and I just think we have such larger issues than does college football need saving by Nick Saban? No, it doesn't. Hey, look at that. America's mailman. Aaron Flippin' Wilson. My guy.
How's the route these days, dude?
My guy. Man, I miss you, Aaron Wilson. We were talking about you the other day. Because everybody's sending me video. By the way, I'm not, and I'm serious. I need a favor.
Macaque.
No. Speaking of macaque, did you guys see the study came out? Another double-blind study on avoiding prostate cancer in men. Yeah, you got to shoot that shot 21 times a month. They're saying,
Monty,
no, but Monty's. If you want to avoid prostate cancer, you got to clear the barrel 21 times a month.
21.
Who's got time for that?
Fucking Cole Beasley.
Derek Carr. Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
And Buddy's got a bum shoulder, so he's going to need some help.
Who's got time? What, is Aaron Wilson going to just lock the door on the mail truck and go to town? Who's got time for 21 expulsions a month?
You know,
I mean, I'm all for working the forearm muscles, but are you out of your 21 times a month?
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
Another study says 21 times a month.
You got to get stroked.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, bro.
Michigan is beating Ohio State this year also. Don't start. Aaron, really good to see you, my guy. Really, really good to see you.
21's a big number.
21's
like that's a massive number, bro.
Can we talk about the hoodie real quick? Because this is a very interesting story. Have you guys seen this? Okay. I don't even know where to start with this now. You guys know who Pablo Torre is, right? The writer.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Torre is saying that there's a really good chance that Belichick doesn't make it to week 1.
What happens next for Coach Belichick? Do you think that he makes it to week 1? Is it getting that contentious over there?
I think there's a chance, an absolutely real chance that he doesn't. And the reason I say that is because even before the Jordan Hudson thing became as public, even before it went from messy backstage to now, obviously messy everywhere, the date that matters the most is June 1st. So when this contract was reported, Dominique, when the terms of Belichick's Carolina contract that made him the highest paid public employee in the state were announced, everybody who follows contractual language pointed out that on June 1st, the buyout of Bill Belichick goes from $10 million to $1 million if Bill wanted the escape hatch, right? So if he wanted out, suddenly it was very interesting that the amount got 10 times less.
Where are all of the people using common sense? Does it make sense that Bill Belichick would quit?
Yeah, we're not making any changes.
Can you guys see a scenario? And I know we don't deal in what-if scenarios.
In a what-if scenario.
Can you see a scenario where Bill Belichick resigns his position as a head coach at North Carolina before even coaching a game?
He would never resign. It would be a fired situation.
I don't think he would resign either, but you start looking at some of this stuff. And again, listen to Belichick talk about his beauty queen who was second runner-up in Miss Maine.
That your relationship with Jordan Hudson has been a headline over the last few months. And all of the specifics aside, because a lot has come out in the last couple of days, how do you think that impacts your ability to coach this football team, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's, really off to the side. It's a personal relationship, and she doesn't have anything to do with UNC football.
Hold on. What, is that a switch up, Bill? Is that a switch up hoodie?
So wait, you went from her not wearing pants?
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
Like, how do you wear no pants to a CBS interview? Like, and the worst part is there's people at North Carolina leaking on this story now, talking about how she's terrible at what she does, and they fear the next move of Belichick and Hudson because they don't consult anybody, and when they make a decision, they just go and do what they're going to do. to sitting down with ESPN at the ACC meetings this spring 2 days ago and saying, yeah, she's not involved with UNC football. Is this not the craziest story that you have ever seen?
Dude, he's getting, it's a major switch up, bro. Like, you went from this was all cool and everything was awesome and you were just lying about the plane and signing the book to now, hey, UNC's questioning things and, now she's secondary and, wasn't good enough that you were caught on the Ring doorbell after, doing what you did with Jordan. Now
doing what you did with Jordan.
We've graduated to, it's a little bit excessive that she's running around in her jean skirt on the field. And, it just is too much, dude.
Yeah. How much do you think this has damaged him?
Yeah, I think it's damaged him a little bit. I think his reputation. I think it's been embarrassing for him. I think
you do.
You haven't even coached a single football game for UNC and they've already put out 2 statements for you. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, how hard is this?
Aaron Wilson for $5. In reference to 21 times a month. Once the back of that mail truck is empty, boy, it's free game on the Lonesome Road.
Yeah.
It's free game on the Lonesome Road.
That's the pew pew vibes right there, bro.
Easy. And what my point, real quick, before we get back to Belichick and his thing, stop sending me shirtless videos. I'm asking you nicely. Like even Maury Alvarez and okay.
Maury sent you a video now?
Maury is in. And the one I'm talking about is a guy named Joe. And I'm not going to out Joe because I actually like
bro,
Joe.
His name is Joe. You're not outing him. There's like too many Joes in the world.
I'm not going to out Joe. Joe literally sent me a Belichick type look at my nipples video that I put him in filtered requests after that. Because that's not
can't have that, dude.
But then there's Maury Alvarez who sent me a video.
Hey, Monty. I love how we have a video of Aaron doing the ayahuasca and him coming out of the darkness retreat. All together.
Listen to the way he says, hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Dude.
Okay.
And then if that wasn't enough, then I get stupid fat fingers.
Hey, player. First of all,
Victor's the way.
I love how you play all my videos. It makes me feel good. But
21
I'm
times a
serious
month.
right now. So, why isn't A-Rod in the Baseball Hall of Fame? And number 2, can you please, give me a heads up when the ESPN app comes out? Because I'm going to get it. Number 3, if you and Mrs. Monty have a kid, can you name him Peyton? For Walter Payton.
Who's that?
That was my cousin's favorite player growing up.
Yeah, well, if it's your cousin.
The one that hooks me up before the celebrity information.
What, Cole Beasley wasn't good enough?
Oh, yeah. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Cole Beasley.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
I didn't even watch that video.
Bye.
That worked out so good.
Bye. First of all, I need to note. I have to notify people when ESPN releases the ESPN app.
Can you do something for me?
I don't want to look at your nipples. Please. Now, if you want to be Maury and be like, hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Hey, Monty.
Macaque.
That's on you, man. Like, yes, BDM hits triple digits a month. There is
Dude,
no
there's no
question,
bro.
There is, in my mind, In my mind, I think it is triple digits in like in a leap year in February, right? Like that's a slow month. If BDM ain't hitting triple digits in a month, it must be a leap year.
Yeah.
Like it has
Buddy's
to be
3-4 times a day at least.
I mean, Andy smokes weed because let's not forget his weed dealer got busted the other day by the cops. This is who we are. Need to investigate that guy for the Sean Benet murder. Did you guys see them? Oh, now we're off the rails. God damn it. Did you guys see that the Menendez brothers got resentenced to 50 to life? So they're essentially getting out on parole. Rosie O'Donnell rejoice. Her and Lyle Menendez are going to have babies. You know. Loner phone. Wow. Look at Loner phone back in the comments section. Scary, creepy guy interchanged on those videos. No, Big Daddy Magic. And it's all in fun. Those two are so creepy Diddy would pass. Stop.
See, you took a break and now you came back and you're already messing it up.
Maury is one of the least creepy guys on the planet. Menendez shotgun wedding. Stop. Oh my God. Johnny Gonzalez, I saw Menendez has a stepdaughter. The whole thing is weird. The whole thing is weird, but we'll get to, because I think we have to talk about how old is too old. If you're a guy, how old is too old to father a kid? Because Big Daddy Magic, they're talking about how if me and Mrs. Monty, bro, I'm 52. It's done.
Fucking A.
And I got clipped 20 years ago. It's over.
Oh, and I'm the perfect child. So why would you have another one? I mean,
okay, let's try to be honest with people.
My bad.
The point is, I'm not having a kid at 52. And bless your heart if that's you. I am not doing that. There is very little chance that I will do that. Knicks, Celtics coming up in 15 minutes. Let's get you ready for that game after this from the Advocates.
When you've been injured in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate, because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the Advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
Indeed, you do. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, no matter where you are. Get to theadvocates.com if you've been injured in a wreck. If you're thinking to yourself, hey, Monty, do I need an attorney? The answer is yes. Talk to an attorney. At the Advocates, it costs you nothing to talk to an attorney, to say, hey, you know what, man? I'm not sure, but I think I might need an attorney. Here's what happened. You can have that conversation all day long at the Advocates. You can chat with an injury attorney live online. They'll talk to you on video. They'll talk to you on the telephone. You can go into any of their offices. However you need to be served, the Advocates are ready to serve you. And it doesn't matter if you think you have a case or you don't have a case. Let the Advocates, the pros, the best injury attorneys in the business, let them tell you if you have a case or not. Because if you don't, trust me, they're going to tell you, we think you're good. Because you have to understand, the Advocates only get paid if they win your case. You never pay them. You never reach in your pocket to cut a check. They only get paid when they win you a settlement. That's how the Advocates get paid. So you're zero risk here. Talk to an injury attorney today at theadvocates.com, 24/7, 365. You can chat with an injury attorney at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. BYU football, he's going to have to come up with a fair deal that satisfies all 50 states and would be part or not part. And he wants no part not giving the SEC an advantage. The SEC will turn on him. Okay, that feels like a lot, but could happen. Why would SC share any money with any JV conference? You wouldn't. You wouldn't, right? Loner phone. I know a guy who attended Princeton with Menendez brothers and delivered pizza for them before the arrest. Interesting. Monty got clipped. Explains a lot. Yeah. That's why you don't have any brothers. Ask your mom. Nothing? Come on. Some of my worst material. Big Ponif. Amen, brother. No more kids after 40. I don't want to be approaching retirement, brother, and wondering when my kid is moving out. Dude, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Johnny Gonzalez. Like, we have 3 crazy court cases going on right now. Karen Reed, Diddy Menendez. It might be too much for public to figure all out the twists and turns. Dude, it's a lot. It's a lot. Jeremiah Champion. What a stud. Good to see you, buddy. The stadium guy, James, for $5.
Here we go.
Sent a video on Instagram. I have my books from my first class. I'm already reading and studying. Go Frogs. Do we really want to see? Did you only go back to school because you got divorced? James this is the type. James is, we should play the game. James is the type of guy who. James is the type of guy who just.
Hope you're having a great day. By the way,
put him on the.
I've already got my syllabus for my first class. I've already started reading, so life's going to be good the next 4 years.
Look how much purple he's wearing. Look how much purple you're wearing, dude. Like, what is.
Does it make you feel ill that you have to wear that much purple? Like,
But
does
then
it bother you?
James is the type of dude who in the comment section says, oh, yeah, I lowered my alimony payments.
And it sucks.
Is that why your ass was bleeding last week?
Okay, dude.
But that's not HIPAA.
I've got colitis and I couldn't write my book this week, dude.
That's not HIPAA. James freely admitted that. He had butthole blowing up and stuff. No, he said that. I didn't say that. But then he just casually drops like, oh, yeah, I lowered my alimony payments.
Good for you, buddy.
Saban has elevated status in SEC country. He does. I was told guys were not antisocial and nice guys. Who's not anti? What are you talking about?
What are we talking about, bro? Like,
oh, he's mad that we won't put a loaner phone did send me a picture of himself. And I think he's mad. I won't. Okay, I'll put it up.
Okay. Well, all right.
There
dude.
you are.
There you are, dude.
You guys, does meth raccoon work for everything? I think it kind of does. I think it kind of does.
What an incredible picture. I mean, honestly.
We've told that story. It's fine. Let's see. James' favorite Prince song is Purple Rain. You're never going to be an Oak State fan again. Just change it to TCU James or Frogs James. I don't even know. I got divorced 5 years ago. My current wife went to TCU. I thought she went to Baylor. Or is that the ex-wife? Now I can't keep your wives straight. You guys in Texas.
Yeah, how many wives do you have, bro?
Got me. Aaron Wilson, trash can video raccoon, please.
Go ahead. Oh, fucking God.
The way that thing opens the door is incredible. Incredible. Let's see. No,
Are people sending you nude videos now?
I've got two. Oh, Joey's upset.
Why is Joey upset?
It was a joke. I was hoping you'd play it on the show. I'm not showing your nipples on the show, dude. The answer's no.
With all due respect, bro, you're not Bill Belichick. You don't get the free nipple pass.
And you're not. And Jordan Hudson's not your girlfriend. The answer's no, dude. My guy. Like, Mr. Ed Wayner. All my exes live in Texas. If you're James, they do.
Apparently.
Stadium guy James, great show today. Gotta go. It's a Whataburger Wednesday.
Dude, why do you do that? See, why do that?
You fucking donkey.
Why bring up burgers when you damn well know I'm hungry doing the show and you bring up Whataburger? Okay.
Jake walks into the studio today and I'm microwaving my I had a really good lunch today. I had, the tortillas you get at the store in the plastic that you can cook on the stove.
Raw tortillas.
Raw tortillas. I made 2 raw tortillas. I warmed up my wife made taco ground turkey last night, and she makes these unbelievable roasted potatoes, put some ranch dressing on that, shook it up, put it in those tortillas. Oh my God. Like Salt Bay. It was amazing. Whataburger does sound good.
Yeah, the sweet tooth is outrageous today, dude.
Why?
I have no idea. It is outrageous.
Aaron says every fucking time. I know it's the best. It's one of the best videos we've ever had. It is one of the best videos we have ever had. Like, James says, actually, my favorite Prince song is "Let's Go Crazy." James, you don't like Prince, and if you are not listening to Lee Greenwood, I will call you a liar. I will call you a liar. I will. All right, let's talk about the Knicks and the Celtics. Game 5. I think this is going to be one of the best games that we've had in the postseason. Our conversation about the NBA brought to you by Rula.com. Rula.com/Monty. You guys, you don't have to struggle with mental health anymore. Most Rula.com patients and clients pay $15 to get the best therapy that you can get. It's not hard to schedule. You go to Rula.com/Monty right now. They can have you on a video link with a provider tomorrow. You can meet with a therapist over video link tomorrow. You don't have to go into a waiting room. You don't have to go to a hospital. You don't have to be uncomfortable. Be at home. Be in your office. Be in your car. Whatever works for you, Rula.com/Monty has a solution. Get the care that you need. Mental health is nothing to be embarrassed about. Mental health is not something you need to hide from or dodge or just, we're going to bootstrap it. It doesn't have to be like that, man. When you have somebody like Rula.com ready to serve you, and it's $15. Don't go to Whataburger. Go to Rula.com/Monty. That $15 will be the best $15 you have spent. Trust me when I say Rula.com is ready to serve you. And I just think, my opinion is that when we look at mental health, we all try to hide from it. We don't want to talk about depression, anxiety. We don't want to tell people, hey, I have trouble getting out of bed in the morning. Hey, I'm feeling a lot of pressure at work. I just don't know that I can keep going forward. One of the things that I think is really causing a lot of people anxiety these days is, hey, I want to find a new job, or I just lost my job. And it seems impossible. Wow, huge clap of thunder.
Wild.
Huge clap of thunder.
Shook the windows, dude.
In the Monty studio. But hey, I feel a lot of pressure because finding a job in these times is really tough. And hey, I'm having trouble providing for my family. Rula.com/Monty. No matter what you're dealing with, depression, anxiety, job phobia, pressure to perform, and if you're dealing with the inability to talk to your wife, if you're having trouble sustaining relationships, Rula.com/Monty. $15 is what most of their clients pay. Before you ever see a therapist, no surprise bills. They're going to tell you what your out-of-pocket cost is. So there's no surprises. There's no pressure. Just the therapy and the professionals that you need to live the best version of yourself at Rula.com/Monty. They're our newest sponsor on the show for this week. We ask you guys, please go patronize our sponsors. Rula.com/Monty. If you guys can go there, sign up, talk to them, tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Rula.com/Monty. And I am 100% serious. And I think if you're new here, you may not know. I talk about the fact that we as men need to be open about mental health. We need to be open about our struggles. Sometimes we try to hide, and especially in faith-based communities, we don't talk about hard times, right? Everything's perfect. We're all great. The family's great. Maybe it's not. And maybe you want to talk to somebody confidentially and in private. Rula.com/Monty. That's available for you. Calford in the comments with 20 Monty Show memberships.
Nice.
Let's go. Appreciate you, Calford. Thank you so much. Good to see you, my friend. Lopes fan Gabe, these ick videos are exactly why you hyenas aren't getting a call in line.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
I didn't want to have to bring that up, but that's the truth.
Exactly right.
Like, BDM kind of, revolutionized it a little bit, kind of pushed it forward a little bit. So we played, his videos, like, yeah.
Oregano's would be amazing. Lopes fan Gabe is exactly right. You ain't getting no call in line. You have to earn. If Lopes fan Gabe wants to call in a show, done. Anybody else? Nah, probably not. Let's see. Conundrum. NFL schedule releases in 60 minutes. I already don't want to talk about it. The Cubs are.
You're so fucked.
Or See,
that's how
Default.
against it he is.
The Bears have an impossible schedule. I don't even, Knicks win. Let's talk about the Knicks. Knicks and Celtics. Now, Jake, again, let me single you up here. You want to give me my flowers and props, or what are you feeling?
That Jason Tatum tore his Achilles, and that's why you won the game.
That's not what happened.
I think that's what happened.
No, sweetheart, it's not what happened.
Okay, fuck you.
I've told you since the beginning of this series. Did I not say the Knicks were going to have a chance to win this series? I believe I said they'd be in position to win the series.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about Jalen Brunson playing all world. He has. It is not my fault that Jason Tatum is soft. Not my fault. Not my problem. Who on
My fucking ass.
That's right. Who on the Celtics do you see stepping up?
Derek White's the obvious guy. I think he's been playing good basketball. He has a tendency to do that. I don't trust Jaylen Brown. I think that he's capable of giving you a huge night on any given night, but I just don't think that it's predictable. It's tough to predict when that's going to happen. And for them to win this series or even win tonight to extend the series, you're going to have to move the ball. You're going to have to knock down the open three. And you're not going to be able to get away with shooting 25, 30% from three. You are going to have to make 37, 38, 39, 40% from three at least to be in this series moving forward. And that's the hard part is I feel like, if you're the Knicks, your biggest thing is just run them off the 3-point line and you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But if you allow them to go crazy and shoot 63s and, make, 27 to 30 of them, like that's not going to be a recipe for success. So that's why
I would agree with that.
When you say like, who's going to step up, my instinct says Derek White, but it's hard to tell.
I think it has to be Derek White. I don't think that you can count on Jaylen Brown. That's my opinion. I think that if you are the Boston Celtics, I think there's no way for you to believe that Jaylen Brown can carry a team on his own because he's never shown he can. He's never been asked to do that, and maybe he plays Superman the next few games. I don't know. But I have to believe, I agree with you. I think, obviously, Derek White's going to be counted. I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to have to score a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely one of their X factors, Him and I think Peyton Pritchard are the two guys coming off the bench where it's like, dude, if they can give you 20, if those two can give you 20 each, you're having a different conversation.
You're golden.
Yeah, you're just having a different conversation.
I agree. And I think this line is crazy to me. Now, it's in Boston. I totally get that. But the Celtics favored by 4.5 on 203.5. I don't know. I think I don't know. This is probably just my opinion. I think that Karl Anthony Towns has been a bit of a letdown. I feel like he's not, and I don't know, you watch as much as I do, but I don't feel like Karl's been a big-time player.
He's the same thing as Jaylen Brown. There are some nights where he goes off and he's dominating you and a three's going in and then he's going to drive to the glass. But then, there's a lot of nights where, he's just not really a factor. And he's just one of those guys where you got to get him going early and he's got to really engage mentally. And then once he is, then he's a problem. But this is my thing. The Knicks should absolutely win this series now. Obviously, there's no excuses. Celtics lose their best player. You're up 3-1. Like, no excuses. I would, if I'm the Knicks, I'm trying to close this thing out tonight and be done with this series and move along.
Have to.
Yeah. But
I think it's vital.
But I sit here and I say, if you're the Knicks at this point, this is your best opportunity to win a championship. Like you are now 5 games away from the NBA Finals.
And you're better than the Pacers matchup, man for man matchup.
Yeah.
I think you're better than the Pacers,
and I think you're playing more organized basketball than the Pacers. I think the Knicks, the Knicks deserve a lot of credit, man. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're playing good basketball.
Yeah.
Tibbs is finally overcoming the allegations of never being able to win big games. And then you've got pictures like this for the Celtics where it's like your boy's in the hospital with a blown up Achilles, and it's just heartbreaking. And honestly,
it really heartbreaking is the right word.
As
it's
a basketball
terrible.
fan, it was just awful to watch. Again, I have to say, and because once this series is over, we'll forget about this and leave it behind. But like, dude, the guy was having a massive night. like more than 40
Historically
points,
good
like
night.
just
Historically
dominating,
good
dude.
night.
So to have that happen there, like at least with Kobe's, he was on the ball.
Kobe
was going like, okay, cool.
And you weren't in the Eastern Conference semis when he got hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Like it just is not.
It's tough, bro.
It is not ideal.
And they're wearing the black unis tonight.
Yeah, Celtics
God,
are black
I
with
hate
green
those.
letters
I hate
as
those
we're heading
so
for tip-off.
much.
You guys, I'm telling you that you have to get to Prize Picks, download the Prize Picks app, because the Prize Pick free play tonight is almost a gimme. It's Anthony Edwards. It's half a point. So all he has to do is score a bucket. He will. That means if you play a 3-pick flex play, which is what I tell you to always play, 3 picks, you only have to get 2 of 3 to get paid. They're giving you Anthony Edwards. Play 2 more. And if you win just 1 more, if you get 1 right, you won money. Right? I think it's a no-brainer. Hook it up, Prize Picks. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty. We'll keep you up to date on this game, obviously. But yeah, it's just a tough spot to be in. Loaner phone. The way Monty sells the Shrink app just gets me pause, tissue break. Bro, it's nothing to joke about.
What's your deal, dude?
It's nothing to joke. Man, honestly. I'm telling you, I'm so proud that we were able to get a test run here with Rula.com, because I think we as men struggle with mental health and we don't want to talk about it. At least not with our friends. And
I just think that they've streamlined it. They've made it so easy to get done what you need to get done. And I love the fact that it's catered to your needs. I feel like so many times in my life, like friends or people, acquaintances that I've talked to about this, like have said, hey, it's really hard. Like, I have a person that I go and talk to, but it's not really like he or she's not really fit to kind of talk to me about what I'm dealing with. Like all those problems are solved with Rula, man. It's somebody who they literally ask you, hey, what are you dealing with? What's your kind of category here? And who do you need to talk to? And they make it very easy. It's streamlined. It literally takes 5 minutes. If you just go, links in the description, Rula.com/Monty, click the link, go to the website. It takes you 5 minutes to get into the flow. And if you have insurance, 9 times out of 10, it's $15.
Yeah, and I'm just telling you, whether you want to call it a shrink or blow it off, dudes, I know that people listening to my words right now are struggling with mental health. And I'm telling you, you don't have to. You don't have to. And if you're somebody, especially, I see so many people that have anxiety issues, depression, and they struggle with things like taking their medication. They struggle with things like getting out of bed. They struggle with things like confidence, motivation to go to work. Right? Like I was talking to this guy I know this morning, and it's like, dude, I don't want to. Every day I try to find a reason to call in sick and not go to my job. And it's like, what kind of life are you leading? Right? So I understand that maybe you feel like it's a sales pitch. I've talked about this openly. I think men need help with their mental health, and a lot of guys don't even know it. You have nothing to lose. Go to Rula.com/Monty. Like Jake said, it's super easy. If you're somebody that worries about, well, hey, I'm Muslim, I am Jewish, I am LDS, they have therapists of all faiths that handle all modalities. Hey, I'm anxious. I have fear of missing out on everything.
15,000 different therapists nationally.
They can help you guys. And I'm passionate about it. I believe in it 100%. I believe in it 100%. Fight on. Monty, I'm cheering for the Knicks. Can't have the Celtics winning another title because my Lakers are just one behind them in titles. Bro, the Celtics aren't winning a championship, but the Lakers got to make the Giannis deal. That has to be, and I'm surprised as an Angelino, somebody who lived in LA for a lot of years, covered the Lakers, worked around that team every day. I was there when Jerry West was your lead executive.
A better time.
When Mitch Kupchak was making deals. I'm not used to this team sputtering. And I think Rob Pelinka has actually done a really nice job over the last 18 months. And I expect him to make that Giannis deal if it's at all possible. It's going to be impossible. The salary numbers are going to be impossible. But if it's possible, I expect Rob Pelinka to do it. because by all accounts, what everybody says is he's got basketball operations there. He can do what he needs to do. He's got to run it by Jeannie and her crew. But he's got basketball operations there, man. And this league is better when the Lakers are good. There's just no question about it, right? Anunoby and Bridges hold the keys to the Knicks' success. Listen, if OG Anunoby's going to knock down threes like he's been in this series, and this was another thing I talked about. They have skilled size. It's not Rudy Gobert who's getting played off the floor. And they have skilled size. And Rudy was a big factor in the Lakers series. Lakers didn't have size. When you're the Knicks and you have skilled size like Cat, like Anunoby, Kristaps Porzingis for the Celtics, that size has to come through for you. And I think OG's been really important. Really, really important. Look at these courses, Monty. Get help if you need it. Get that. I understand. I just don't. Yeah, it's mine. I make too much of it. Monty, trying to get mental health care treatment at your local VA is a nightmare. It's terrible.
Yeah.
The cuts that have been made at the VA are horrendous. It is the mental health thing, you guys. I don't mean to belabor it, and it has nothing to do with Rula.com being on the show. It is so frustrating to me that we can't openly talk about, hey, I'm struggling with depression, man. Like, I was talking to this dude this morning, and he's like, I don't even tell his mom is a Latina Catholic. And he's like, I don't even tell my mom because she'll want me to go and pray about it. And praying is not going to fix my mental. He's dealing with depression and anxiety. Yeah. It's not going to fix my depression and anxiety. So he can't even talk to his mom about it. And it's one of those things where if you can get on a video link with a therapist who is specially trained to handle your situation, and it costs $15 in most cases, why wouldn't you do that? Don't waste days. And now I'm probably rambling, but don't waste days, you guys. Life is so short. Every day matters. Don't waste days. Like button, it's hump day. Yes, please hit the like button. I'm terrible at saying that. Please hit the like button. If you're listening on our audio podcast, once you get to Rula.com/Monty, make sure you come back over to YouTube, hit subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate all of you on Instagram, Facebook, obviously X. Hello to everybody on X. Our show does very well on the X platform. Thank you for that. Comment over to YouTube. Just Google search The Monty Show. MONTY.
Yeah, not MONNY. MONTY.
Monty. It's not Monty. It's Monty.
Yeah.
Johnny Gonzalez, don't call it a shrink app. It's been here for years, rocking my peers, handling their fears. There you go. Hey, Lamont Tucker, good to see you. The Horned Frog, James Esquire. Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Right. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to shout out a guy named Kevin Bruder, who Jake and I used to work with. Passed away this past weekend. He was essentially the czar at the Maverick Center. He was on the board of governors at the ECHL, and he was I believe he's the president and CEO of the Utah Grizzlies. Speaking of life is short, that's what made me think of this. He was an avid hiker. He went out for a hike Sunday and died while he was hiking. And you know what? For all of the things that, Jake and I went through when we were at the Maverick Center, you don't wish that on anybody. Kevin Bruder was a good dude, family man, had grandkids, had children. Mm-hmm. Just a shout out to all of our friends at the Utah Grizzlies, the Maverick Center, Kevin Bruder's family, because I'm sure it's shocking when you lose somebody like that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I tell you guys, value every single day of your life. Because you go out, you wake up one day on a Sunday and you're like, yeah, let's go for a hike. And you don't come back. You walk out the door. That's why I tell you about the advocates, man. You walk out the door, you're riding your bike to school, you're riding your motorcycle to work, and you get hit. Look how much your life changes. So think about that. All right. I got the Knicks tonight. I really feel like this is a must close out game for the Knicks. It's 9-8 Knicks in the first quarter. And Derek White, now I know it's early. Derek White's 2 of 2 from 3. And again, I passed on 1.5 3-pointers on Derek White.
Damn.
And I probably should have taken it. I have him on a heater at 2.5 3-pointers. So I went up
be
one.
there. He's already 2. He's already got 2. You'll hit that.
I need one more.
Yeah,
so
you'll hit that for sure.
We'll see about that. 9-8. Knicks over the Celtics. 8 minutes to go in the first, so it's very early.
Yeah.
Lost a business partner over the weekend to cancer. Get everybody in the chat checked for all cancers and trust your doctor. They're there to help. I always tell you that. Go get your colonoscopies. Go get your prostate checked. Eat your fruits and vegetables every single day. People joke with me. Jake used to bust my balls about it. I eat a half cup of oats every day with blackberries and blueberries in it. Creatine, collagen, and chia seeds for omega-3s. Telling you, guys, you got to do it, whether you want to or not. Mental health is serious topic. I should not have played down the importance of the important time. Well, and I get it, dude. It's all good. It's all good. You know what I think is interesting about NFL release day. So the schedule comes out here in 40 minutes.
Right.
And we already know I went through panic mode to start the show. The Bears have the second most difficult strength of schedule this year.
Yeah.
This is allegedly the Bears' schedule. I say allegedly because it's not official from the National Football League. We're screwed. We're screwed. Like, you look at that schedule. Eagles, Browns, Packers, Niners, Lions to finish with a bye week there.
I'm screwed.
I mean, I don't disagree. It's going to be tough to make the playoffs.
It's going to be tough to make the playoffs on that schedule.
Yeah, it is.
And I think Caleb's going to be much better. We're in a tough spot there.
Yeah.
And one of the things I thought was so interesting was this question about, should the NFL have a draft lottery? I wonder what you guys think about this. And you're going to hear from Adam Schefter on this in a second. I bring this up because the NBA has one, the NHL has one. In the NFL, you don't have a draft lottery because team with the best record drafts last. Team with the worst record drafts first. Plain and simple.
Yeah, straightforward.
But if you listen to Adam Schefter tell it, and I think Adam Schefter's one of the most connected guys, there's some people talking about putting a draft lottery in the NFL.
Has the NFL ever thought about doing a draft lottery?
It's funny you asked me that, Evan. I initially had put that down as one of the points that I wanted to discuss in my podcast today, and there were some other news and developments that prevented me from doing that. But the more I think about it, the more I think the NFL should be in that business. And I could say here what I would have said on my podcast, but basically, they don't want teams to tank. They don't want teams to lose. We had a couple of situations last year where in the last game of the year, the Patriots are putting in Joe Milton. Let's tell you, they're trying to lose, but they certainly don't want to win. The players want to win, but the organization itself wants to lock in the number 1 overall pick. And instead they win the game, and Buffalo is playing against them. Now, Buffalo wants New England to win because Buffalo's in their division, and Buffalo doesn't want New England to have the number 1 pick. So New England with Joe Milton wins that game, knocks themselves out of that position. They go to number 4, and the draft unfolds the way it does. I think if nothing else, if the NFL were able to implement a lottery system, they'd have one more night of ratings because they're doing shows for everything else. We're getting a schedule show on ESPN tomorrow. Schedule show's popular. Draft shows, draft preview shows. I can't believe there's not mini camp and OTA shows already. So why would there not be a draft lottery show that would rate huge? Can you imagine?
Can you imagine that? Would you watch an NFL draft lottery show?
Of course.
You would.
Of course. Of course. Yes. Everybody would.
Yeah, it's intriguing to me. I hate conspiracy theories. We've talked about this. Did we really go to the moon? Yes, we went to the moon.
Dude, you cannot criticize tinfoil hat guy over the NBA draft lottery, dude.
Right, but I don't want tinfoil hat guy in the NFL. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. And if New England wants to lose or win, or your mom, and I don't.
But isn't tinfoil hat guy already in the NFL? I mean, haven't we had
the refs with
you know,
Patrick
the
Mahomes and his right
script
tackle never
and-
getting a false start and
Yeah,
the
you know,
scumbag Kansas City
the Taylor
Chiefs.
Swift thing? Like, I mean, there's been numerous
Put her on
examples.
TV. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, there is.
I don't look the lottery in the NFL. I just think is unnecessary.
Come on, Derek. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 3-pointers from Derek White.
Do I get flowers now?
Yes,
or-
sir. No, you
A
didn't help me
little-
pick that.
Dude, I literally told you Derek White was going to have a good night tonight.
I picked it before you said that. Hey, it's not my fault. Pimp's going to pimp, man. It's just what I do. OG Anunoby.
Brick.
11-11, 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah,
Knicks and Celtics.
So I don't know, man. I think that the NFL is very straightforward. Why try to fix something that's not broke?
I would agree.
You know, I just don't see a need to do it.
Yeah, I would not do it. Loner Phone says, I like lottery, more competitive games last 4 weeks. There's something to that. Sure. The tank race is gambling genius. Do you know how hard it is to gamble on the NFL in the last 3 weeks of the season? It's really difficult. Bears make it look like they didn't intend to lose. Come on. Well, we're going to celebrate this Hail Mary that's about to happen. You know, Stevenson's going to wander off into a corner and flip off some fans while the ball's in the air.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That happened to us in real life. Man, the Knicks are stupid basketball players. A turnover, and then you don't get back on defense. A wide open quarter court layup for Derek White because you just chose not to get back on defense. Unbelievable. And then they missed a layup. No, they made the layup, excuse me. Oh,
Derek
my
White
God.
is on a
Derek White
heater,
drains
bro.
a 3. 18-13 Celtics. Don't do this to me. Don't do me dirty like this.
Noel Manes.
OG. Block
Turnover.
shot. Terrible. No, it's Knicks ball. Colts and Rams had most number 1 overall picks of all time. Rams don't want to be in the business anymore. Colts might be once a tanker, always a tanker. Well, stop picking Anthony Richardson as a quarterback. I know he sucked. You can't figure it out? Come on. I think it would be incredible TV if you had
I mean, I agree with Shefty. If you had the lottery TV show and, you know, you had all those episodes, it'd be good for the league.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that the impact on the game with a lottery, I just don't think is smart.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. But that's just me. And then there's this Trey Hendrickson thing with the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, they paid T and Jamar Chase this offseason. Burrow's paid. If you listen to Trey Hendrickson, do you guys believe he ends up with the Bengals this season?
Do you think it's repairable at this point? I mean, the way things have gone.
Oh, I think every relationship is repairable, right? Like I think Myles Garrett proved that. He's a great man, and he's done great things for his family, and obviously providing on and off the football field, he's tremendous. But I think that relationship will repair with time, and same with this. This is just the uncomfortable business side that we've unfortunately had to deal with for the last couple of years, and quite frankly, I think we're all spent.
Wow. I mean, he's walking around OTA, voluntary minicamp. He is only there to talk to the media, right? Like it's
uncomfortable. It's
Jaylen
awkward.
Brown now dropping a 3. The Celtics are shooting the lights out. 21-16 Boston. It's incredibly awkward. Wow, Josh Hart got crushed.
Yeah, that was rough.
Did they not call a foul on that?
I think they did.
Oh, okay. 21-16 Celtics over the Knicks. I don't see any way. He's the NFL sack leader.
You're paying, buddy, dude. You are paying him, and you know I don't know how long it's going to take or what's going to happen, but you're going to pay him. You're not letting him walk.
Yeah, I agree. Fully adopt the chip in the ball before adopting a draft lottery. Just saying. Okay, I don't disagree with that. You need to put a microchip in the football. I would agree with that. I second chip in the ball. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bengals need all their players to win games this season. Cincy close to being the most expensive, irrelevant team in the league. You're not wrong. Which they are not a stranger to. I would agree with that. All right. Before we get out of here, Jake is pissed off about this.
Put it on the screen, dude. It's self-explanatory. I don't even need to explain this graphic, dude.
But wait a minute.
I mean,
this is becoming a daily thing with you.
What do you mean?
You get pissed off about real estate every day now.
Yeah, because I'm getting piped, bro.
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
Look at this graphic, dude. What, are you kidding me right now?
How much do you need to make to buy a home in 2025? West Virginia's $71,000.
Mountain Mama.
Mountain Mama. Virginia's $122,000. We live in Jita.
I'm sorry.
Does that say $169,000
to buy a home in this damn state?
Jeez. Nevada's 140. California's 210. Only beaten, I believe, by Massachusetts at 216,000. I don't know how anybody affords this. I honest to God, Texas is 100,000. Florida is 125,000. My wife and I have talked about moving to Jupe a bunch of different times. Do you guys understand how many houses are for sale in Florida and they can't sell them because people bought? There was a South Florida housing boom during the pandemic. Well, in a lot of places, but in South Florida, so many people overpaid for so many houses, can't sell them. So Utah, let me get this straight. Utah's 169, Florida's 125,000. That doesn't include hurricane insurance.
Bro, I'm just telling you guys, you move to the blue areas. Move to the light blue areas. Like
Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa.
Get your land, get your house.
Indiana.
Set yourself up.
Michigan's only 76,000.
Right? Like
Ohio's 75,000. New York is 190,000.
I'm just telling you, it's the way to go, dude. It is the way to go. I saw this and I was like, yep, this is the way to go, bro.
Connecticut 144, Rhode Island 151. Like, if you could live anywhere on this map, where are you more likely to buy a house?
I mean, if money didn't matter?
No, with the money you see on the map.
I mean, my instinct would say I don't have interest in living close to the ocean because of hurricanes. I don't want to be in that position.
So no Florida.
So I wouldn't do Florida.
No Seaboard, no California.
Yeah. Well, California doesn't get, obviously a lot of hurricanes. I mean, they do get some weather, but like, I'm more talking about Gulf of America, the southern region that gets hit by hurricanes a lot. I'm not really interested in that portion. I would probably be, in what is it called? The Rust Belt is the cute little term, right? I would probably be looking at
Illinois, Indiana, Ohio.
Yeah, or I know just based on looking, I know that like Texas at 102. I would never live in Texas just because of the politics. I can't bring myself to do it. But like if you're purely looking at pricing, I know for sure like Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas.
You're never catching me living in. I lived in St. Louis, and that's a tough place to live, man. Kansas City, Columbia. Even like the Jeff Cities of the world. That's a tough way to make it. Like we were just in Chicago for opening day about 6 weeks ago now. I would live in downtown Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I would not live in suburban Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I just would not do it. I think on this map, if it were me,
go
ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is I think that the hard part is like, I agree with that. Like suburban Chicago's, not great. Like obviously,
and that's where we grew up.
Yeah, and obviously there's pockets. Every city and town's got nicer and less nicer areas. But I think the hard part is this conversation's super generational too. Like I think that your generation is definitely in a better spot with this conversation than my generation is, and it's hard because I feel like I remember when I first moved to Utah would have been in the blue on this map when I first moved to Utah. Like Utah was a value play.
When we moved back in 2020,
yeah,
my problem is I miss Southern California. I miss dude. And everybody says, "Oh, dude, it's crime." San Francisco is one of the greatest places I've ever lived. Can't afford it. Southern California, dude, I love it. If I could live in LA, honest to God, my friend Chad and his wife, me and my wife, go to dinner a couple times a year. And we always joke about a tall and skinny in Huntington Beach.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to live in Orange County. I would love to play Pelican Hill once a month.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, dude. I love Southern California.
But I can't afford to live the lifestyle I live now. And it's why I'm trying to build a new side hustle, frankly, that I can scale into a full-time thing. Because I want to make more money. I love living in California. And people are like, "Oh, the politics, Gavin Newsom's a dick." Okay, cool. What is Florida and Texas? What is New York? Like,
what's Chicago?
You have to build your life in the place that you want to build it. But right now, there's a lot of us who can't afford to do that.
Yeah, and so when I look at this map, the thing that stands out to me is like, it's a hack to be, well, like, this firsthand. Like, it's a hack to have your housing costs be under $2,000 right now in this market, in this climate. And unfortunately, for a lot of people my age, including myself, I wasn't able to take advantage of that opportunity. And so now the proposition is, okay, literally every single year, not exaggerating, Utah gets more expensive. And it's getting to a point where, like we were texting today, I'm sick and tired of everything costing an arm and a leg, dude. I'm over it, bro. Like,
we were talking about food today. I don't want to pay that.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that, and we talk about this a lot, and I'm not trying to get into a boner measuring contest over politics. We're never going back to $2 gas.
No.
One of the things that makes me crazy is there's a lot of Republicans in this country who believe $2 gas is coming. Do you guys understand that the average tax per gallon of gas in this country is $1.52? Let that sink in. Not the highest, not the lowest. The average amount of tax per gallon for gasoline in this country is $1.52. We're never going back to $2 gas. That's the reality that we now have given to Jake's generation, who's giving even more to his children.
Yes.
That's the issue, is that we don't have a way to cut costs. So we currently have to suffer a little bit.
So
how long are we going to suffer? That's the $10,000 question.
So what do you do? Right? And this is again, I've brought for you long times. I've been bringing this up for quite some time now. What you have to do, in my opinion, I'm a firm believer in it, is you have to go to a place, and you can choose this place, whatever you decide, right? It could be Kansas or Iowa or wherever the hell you want to go, whatever state. But you got to go somewhere where you can set yourself up from a real estate perspective to have cheap real estate costs, right? To have costs that's extremely manageable and puts you in a position where the money you're making now goes further. That way you can start to get out of debt. That way you can start to get yourself in a better position.
I'm on the total opposite end of that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Make more fucking money.
Well, yeah,
that's where, but I don't come, it's different. And I know you're going to say, well, yeah, obviously. I understand that, but think through that. I'm truly a 1%er. My wife is well employed. I'm well employed. I make really good money, and I want to make more money. I've always been the make more money guy. I'm not the guy who's like, well, let me cut expenses and let me move to, small town USA so I can get a plot of land and build it. I want to move and build a house on a plot of land. Absolutely. I want the Monty compound. I do. But I'm going to make more money and make it happen.
Yeah, I'm just not willing to pay more than I should have to pay. That's the difference. I want to make more money, and I want my margins to go up.
What should you have to pay?
Why? What should I have to pay? I don't have a problem. See, this is the thing. The casual in real estate right now is like, oh, 7% is really high. Like, mortgage rates are asinine. And that's not true. That's actually not true. Like 7% is, yes, it's higher. Yes, it's higher.
Don't say.
Of course it's higher. But we're not talking about 20%. We're not talking about double-digit percentage points on a mortgage. right?
No.
Like 7% is doable. The issue is the price of the house. 7% on 500,000, that should be 350,000. That's the millennial problem. So when I talk about like, hey, dude, like, you know, as you were saying, like difference in philosophy, I disagree. I don't think we have a difference in philosophy on that per se. The difference is that I am sick and tired of having the, hey, why can't we buy a house conversation and why can't we get set up conversation? And I'm tired. I am truly tired of paying twice what your generation pays for housing costs. I'm over it, dude. I'm done with it.
Well, and the funny thing is, though, my generation, as much damage as was done to millennials through the pandemic, my generation really benefited.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you were in position.
We were in position
advantage.
to leverage it.
And again, right. I'm not the guy, just so we're clear, I'm not the guy who holds that against you guys. Like, if I was in position, I'd have done the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Of course.
We sold our house in Phoenix and made a killing on it.
Yeah.
And then found the perfect house here. My housing cost is roughly $1,500 a month.
Like,
it's crazy. And I have a nice townhouse, right? Fight On says the Coachella Valley is just oh yeah. Bro, that Rancho Mirage,
and listen,
Palm Springs.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about inheriting in California as well, which is something that I don't have the advantage of either.
Yeah, I think it's wild to me that, and you have to, I think and Fight On, you probably know this better than most people. If you want to live in a zip code and you're not papered up, you have to, some people got to die.
Yeah.
They got to leave you that house. That's what you have to do. Because you have to have generational housing to really afford to live there, in my opinion. My mom paid 33 cents a gallon when I was 17 in 1987. 109 a gallon in 2025. I paid. Where are you getting 109 a gallon?
No, he's saying when he was 17.
Oh, I see. In 1987, 109 a gallon. 2025, I paid 285. Yeah, and it's going to go higher. Build electric plants, drive the nuclear cars. There you go. Yeah, I think it is. I think the reality is that you have to make more money. And we need to get back to fueling new business in this country. I think it's vitally important. You have to make more money. And I will go back and I will continue to say, we need paychecks. But what am I going to say? Yeah, paychecks are that drug they give you to forget your dreams. And we are acutely aware of that. As people who own multiple small businesses, we're acutely aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be courageous. You have to have some courage.
Mm-hmm.
And I just encourage you, as much as humanly possible, be brave. Because failure is not failure unless you allow it to be the end. Failure is education.
Yeah.
That's truly what it is. You have to educate yourself. All right. Roulette.com/Monty. Go check it out, please. They're on the show this week. We have to perform. Would love you guys to go and check out the services at roulette.com/Monty. If you are struggling with mental health, if you're struggling with pressure at job, hey, I'm scared to open a new business, or roulette.com/Monty. They'll help you with all of that. Whether anything you need help with, they're going to match you up with a specialist in that area. You can be connected with a therapist in as little as the next day. And in general, it's about $15 per person to talk to a therapist about your struggle with mental health. Roulette.com/Monty. Go and get it on your way out the door. Please make sure that you hit the like button. We'll do it one more time tomorrow. Jake's going out of town. He might come back on Monday. Probably not.
Yeah, you know.
Probably not.
I'll let you know how the roller fit is.
Yeah, you're gonna eat. He's gonna eat off the roller all weekend. Good luck with that.
Stuff, you know?
Enjoy that face herpes you're gonna get.
Right.
Don't eat. Promise me you won't eat off the roller.
I won't. Yeah, I'm not. No.
Yeah, Nancy probably will. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.